Know what to say, Lord, but I know that I can stay silent. And I don't know what to pray, Lord, so I pray that I don't turn violent. I try to turn the other cheek, evil's everywhere I turn, I feel it turning me into someone I don't wanna be, someone that don't forgive. But if we let evil go, we just punish the innocent. Two children woke up without daddy and a wife without a husband, and you celebrate in public like you love it. So disgusted, God, I'm trying not to cuss, but what the fuck do that around me and swinging, that's on everything I love. And if they lock me up, then lock me up and throw away the key. Rather be a man behind bars than a coward living free. You probably got no principles if you ain't got no enemies. This the point of no return, turning point where you need me. Cause laughing at a man's death, same as pissing on his grave. But I bet you cowards thinking that you brave. I said, laughing at a man's death, same as pissing on his grave. But I bet you won't do that in my face. Cause these cowards shot a stand up man while he was sitting down. I don't recognize the world that we live in now. The Bible said that this would happen, it's all written down. The final minutes of the final time is ticking, Jesus coming any minute now. They shame was sacred while they celebrating sinning now. I say it loud enough that you can hear it in the clouds. I'd rather die than live life like a coward. Cold blood and they celebrate like the letters from heaven say. Hearts of many will grow cold in the end of days. Father, forgive me for not forgiving, teach me how to love. Cause love's the last thing on my mind right now after seeing that blood. But then I look up and I shake my head, thinking about the blood you shed and words you said. They know not what they do, think it was something like that. I don't got your book memorized, so I know that my pen at times can stray off the pages. So I just pray that I remember that. A coward dies 1,000 deaths, a martyr dies just once. When a coward kills a soldier, the whole army rises up. I said a coward dies 1,000 deaths, a martyr dies just once. And when a coward kills a soldier, the whole army rises up. Coward shot a stand up man while he was sitting down. I don't recognize the world that we live in now. The Bible said that this would happen, it's all written down. The final minutes of the final time is ticking, Jesus coming any minute now. They shame was sacred while they celebrating sinning now. I say it loud enough that you can hear it in the clouds. I'd rather die than live life like a coward.
How do you want to be remembered? If I die, everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important. The most important thing is my faith.
All right, welcome back to the podcast, Two Protects One, and we're back. Okay, we're back. We're back with another Charlie Kirk update. Okay, I will be totally honest with you. I didn't want to do this tonight. Like I said the other day, I've been watching the video. I've been watching the clips. I've watched a couple other like sniper videos. I've consumed a lot of content when it comes to this assassination. And it's starting to bother me a little bit. But I remembered something very wise and profound, okay? And if anybody knows Sam Hyde, he said it the other day in his podcast that I watched, which I might drop the link in the below after this live stream. Very powerful message that Sam Hyde gave another powerful message from Nick Fuentes. But Sam Hyde says, don't take the black pill. All right. You're not a faggot. All right. Black pills are for faggots. And I'm not one of them. So we are going to ramp it up tonight. We're going to talk about some of the new evidence that's come out. I know everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a theory. Everybody has conspiracy theories. Everybody has an idea. It was a shooter on the grassy knoll. It was the security guards. It was some dude in a building. It was this. It was that. And I'm going to tell you one thing right now, that I haven't seen anything definitive that would tell me otherwise, that the person that took the shot. And I just don't see it yet. Now, some of them were some good ideas, some assumptions, like you got the security guards making hand signals. I'm not saying there's no foul play. Okay, I'm not saying that whatsoever. Not even hinting at that, because I know that there's going to be some more stuff come out, and there's going to be some stuff you might not ever find out. Okay, you might not ever find out the 100% truth of what happened to Charlie Kirk. But if we could, I'll say this. Okay, let's just say that there were more people involved. The story that they've presented to us is true, but there were also some more people involved. But we used the guy that we caught and all his little gay, tranny, furry friends on the internet, and we take all those people and we find a way to lock up that whole organization. I'm all for it. Now, do I think it'll happen? Probably not. Okay. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be one guy. He's going to take the rap for everything, and these dangerous trans terrorist organizations are going to keep on rolling. Okay. And if you haven't kept up on the news over the last couple of days, you're probably thinking gay, trans, terrorist organizations. What the fuck are you talking about? If you've tried to isolate yourself from Charlie Kirk news because it's just been too much, you're probably not even going to know what the hell I'm talking about. But by the end of this live stream, you will have an idea of what I'm talking about. And you can make your own assumptions. You can make your own theories. I do not try to prevent people from doing that, but I'm going to present the facts as they are, like right now. Okay. I could wake up tomorrow and there could be something that completely changed. Okay. I am also going to do a little bit. I don't want to dig too much into it because I don't believe it yet. Okay. But I am going to talk a little bit about what I think, or if I think the Jews are involved. Okay. Or Israel or Bibi Netanyahu. Was he involved at all? Okay. And I'm going to tell you my theory on that. And that's something I'm definitely going to make sure I hit. So stick around. We'll jump into that at some point in time. I'm going to pull up my X now and just see what all I bookmarked, because I bookmarked a bunch of shit and I can't really remember what all I bookmarked. I mean, I'm letting you know, dude, I've been down the rabbit hole. I've been out of the rabbit hole. I've been back down in it. I've not taken this lightly. Let's put it that way. And I'll say this. I think it's pretty dangerous to jump. Is this gonna let me do it? Hey, let's go, bitch. I got X wanting me to verify if I'm a human. Why don't we get Elon Musk on here? Let's verify if he's even human, because I don't fucking believe it. I think he's like some kind of cyborg, like what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg and all that shit. Yeah, just a bunch of weirdos running around with billion-dollar weirdos. Let's put it that way. Ooh, there is some good clips in here. I got some good clips in here. Okay. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. So I do want to go back to the clip. I don't know if we're going to watch the whole clip, but I do want to go back and watch what was released yesterday. Okay. And what was released yesterday was Kash Patel came out with some new information. I don't feel like there was a whole lot of evidence like really released in this, but he said some key things that kind of got me thinking, kind of got some people thinking conspiracy wise. Let me see what some of you people are saying before I start pulling up clips. Yeah, the old man was a distraction. I believe that. They're immediately trying to go after not only the Second Amendment, but also the First Amendment, hate speech. Yeah. So Pam Bondi made some stupid ass comments today, which it's always been. I'm a free speech absolutist. I hate the fact that we're going after people and their jobs and stuff like that. But I see it as a necessary fucking evil. And I've been saying this thing for probably the last 4 or 5 years. It's like we have to get to the point where we stoop to the left's level. And a lot of people will say, no, man, we got to take the moral high ground. We can't stoop to their level. And then they wonder why we're out here getting shot in the fucking neck. And why we're getting our asses beat in the streets. And why we're getting our asses beat politically and with ideologies. It's because we won't stoop to that level. And a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do that. We're moral people and we should be able to debate our ideas. And I'm sorry, debating's not getting us where we think it's going. I mean, I'm not saying that Charlie Kirk wasn't influential and he didn't impact the youth at all, but where has it gotten us? These people, these trans people, these LGBT communities are sicker than what they were 10 years ago. It's gotten progressively worse. So, Moral High Road has left the building. Exactly, Chatter Zone. I mean, I don't know how long we can continue to play that game and win. And our record is like 0-10 right now. We are getting our asses kicked. If this was a 12-round fight, we have lost 10 of the 12 rounds so far. The good news is we got 2 rounds left, and there's always that one knockout punch. And I think we can find a way to do the knockout punch. Does it have to be grimy and on a grimy level? It might have to be. It might have to be. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, man. A lot of people don't want to hear that. But it's the truth. And I believe there is a thing as such as righteous anger. Okay? You don't have to be bitter, hateful, spiteful in what you do. But I'm going to tell a quick story before I play this Kash Patel video. I probably won't play the whole video because there really wasn't nothing in there. I thought he did okay. But Kash Patel, I'm beginning to think Kash is either corrupt or way in over his fucking head. I think it might be like a little bit of both. But I'm going to tell this story. So I went to, my son's been playing flag football. Okay. So I've been going to these football games. So last night I went to the football game and I was going to go live when I got home. But there's been some new information that's dropped. And I talked about it a little bit this morning on my live stream, but I didn't really go that much into it. Okay. Which we'll talk about that here in a minute, but that wasn't the story. While I'm at this football game, I'm sitting next to a neighbor that lives down the street from me. Okay. And, you know, he told me about a situation that one of his kids had at the high school they go to. So the day after Charlie Kirk's death, his child comes into what would be considered, the kid is like, I think a freshman or a sophomore in high school, walks in, there's a message written on the whiteboard at this school. Okay. Now I know this school is left wing. Okay. The school's been accused of like having litter boxes for fucking furry trans kids. Okay. I mean, and it's a public school. It's a county school, but it's a public school. Anywho. So the kid comes in and the kid sees something on the whiteboard. It says, "Did Charlie Kirk deserve it?" And the teacher is a math teacher. Okay. That is the type of shit. Like, who the fuck with their right mind asks that question? Because that is, in my opinion, unacceptable. Unacceptable. You want to ask that question? Go ask your fucking personal friends outside of a school. Why are you asking a 15 or 16-year-old, depending upon how old they are, as a sophomore? Why the fuck are you asking these kids these questions? Stop doing that. So I'll say this: I did call the school today, and I did have a conversation with the principal. And the thing is my kid doesn't even go there. Okay, my kid doesn't even go there. But I feel it's important. It's important to our community. It's important. And I did notice at this school, because my kid is homeschooled. Okay, my kid's homeschooled, but he has the opportunity to play sports at regular schools. So he's been playing flag football for this school. They don't play the national anthem before the football games. They've been known to like bend and kneel to the trans ideology, the LGBT movements, and now all of a sudden this liberal shitbag teacher puts this liberal shitbag message on his whiteboard. So I called up there and I let the principal know, like, just when you think I don't have eyes in that school, I have eyes in that school. If it happens again, I'll make sure basically every news organization around here, every conservative right wing, charity organization or just organization in general is crawling all over your school. So I will blast you all over my podcast. I said, if, in my opinion, if you're going to do that kind of stuff, I said, in my opinion, what you should do is get all your teachers together and tell them you better not fuck up. And that's where I'm at with this whole Charlie Kirk thing. If you step out of line, all right, we're going to fuck your life up, because they wouldn't hesitate to do it to you. Anywho, that's my story. I'm not happy about it. I don't like doing that type of stuff. But like I said, if you're not going to stoop to their level, they're just going to keep winning. If you don't affect these people's lives, then they're going to keep winning. Homeschool is good. It's hard on a family. It's hard on a family, especially if you have a wife that works and has to work full time. Now, my wife, for a couple of years, she didn't work at all. Now she's went back part time because there's certain stuff that she wants, but she makes it work. But money's tight. It's not easy. On this economy, it's hard to make it on fucking one salary. So, but anyway, that's enough from me. Let's get into this. I'm going to pull up this Cash Patel video because I want to talk about it a little bit. I don't know how much I'm going to watch of it because it's kind of gay. I feel like most of the time he spends in this video, he's just like being defensive. He's not even really trying to answer the questions. He's just spending time like trying to, fucking defend his position. Which, in my opinion, makes him super gay. Hold on, let's see what Joseph says. They're crying about us calling them out for their current BS, but had no problem doing that to us for the last 10 years. Exactly, Joseph. I don't feel bad about it, to be totally honest with you. I don't like doing it because it's not my MO. It's not what I like doing. But I will say this, you get what you fucking get, buddy. Good luck. Good luck. Cash has been a huge disappointment. I'll put the huge like Trump. And in my opinion, Trump's been a huge disappointment. And we're going to discuss that later too. Because Nick did like a short monologue last night about Trump, which I thought it was fairly accurate. Maybe slightly off a little bit, but he was pretty accurate. But anyway, let's get into this video. This is Cash Patel yesterday. giving updates on the Charlie Kirk murder probe. So here we go.
Knew from my investigative experience what I could bring to the table and what decisions I needed to make. And having the support of President Trump and the full support of the White House was what we needed for these resources to happen. And I can report today
Can everybody
that the
hear
DNA
this okay?
hits from the towel that was wrapped around the firearm and the DNA on the screwdriver are positively processed for the suspect in custody.
So, Mr. Director, that is vital. That is breaking news and vital information, because now you have the casings for the gun. So you connect the gun. Now you got his DNA on it. That's huge. But I also want to get to another part.
I just got to interrupt. Sorry, I just got to interrupt. We have the DNA on the screwdriver that was found on the rooftop and the towel that the firearm was wrapped in. The firearm itself, this is a great point. Thanks for raising it.
Yeah, no problem.
That is being processed by ATF laboratories in Maryland, and I believe they'll speak to that at a later date when their process is incomplete. But I just want to let you know the FBI handled the screwdriver and the towel found on
That
scene.
is important.
So I do want to say this real quick. Apparently, he disassembled the gun, stuck it in the barrel and the stock in each side, put the components of the gun in the backpack, Lord, in his backpack, climbed up on this roof, reassembled the gun, took the shot. Okay. Now, could it be done? Yes. Okay. I believed it. And I still believe that is ultimately what happened. But that is one lucky fucking shot, unless he's really been training. Because I was all for it until they told me they took the gun apart. Yeah, D, I know you got some other stuff that you think it is too. And I've looked at a lot of the stuff you've sent me. Well, all of the stuff you've sent me. I think this is the most believable so far. There might be some other stuff out there that comes out eventually, but I don't know. I think taking the gun apart, as long as he left the scope on, he should be able to do it. No problem. But if you take that scope off, you fuck everything up. Then you got to try to resight your gun and all that shit. And it could be off. But one shot, I don't think he hit his intended target, but it was enough to kill him.
Clarification, Mr. Director. I want to get to the 20 members in that group chat. Have they been brought in for questioning? And the group chat that from our reporting that we're hearing is from after the assassination. Do you have the messages from before the assassination?
Well, let me take a step back and tell you what we were doing while we were there and how we were led to the suspect so that this all fits into the puzzle.
He ignores this question, but he does come back and answer it. The first time I heard this, I thought, what the fuck? He just completely ignored this question. But if you haven't heard yet, which most people have, is that it comes to find out that this Tyler guy had a trans boyfriend and was living with him. And it's a male trying to transition to a female. But, it really, it's a man. It's like two gay dudes just living with each other, doing nasty shit. But anyway, they were in a bunch of group chats on Discord and Steam. And I've read a lot of these group chats. There's some shit I haven't read that some people have read from I think Steam. Or I can't remember. Maybe it was Steam. But yeah, apparently there was a lot of sexual text messages that I missed, and I don't feel bad about that. I'm glad I missed those. I don't want to read that shit, but I would have if I could access it, just for the simple fact is I wanted to know how I am to the point with this whole fucking thing is I want to know this dude's sickness in his mind. I want to know what the fuck is going on. And I think really what happened is he just found out he was gay. I think this is my theory as to what happened to him. I think growing up as a young kid, he probably got involved watching porn, started watching more maybe he started getting into like gay porn and tranny porn, and he got into these group chats on Discord and Steam and video games and all this shit. The chats in the video games. You have to watch that with your kids. Almost every game that a kid plays nowadays has a chat in it. You have to go in, either not let the kid play it or turn off the chat. Now, like with Roblox, my kids play Roblox, but their chat is completely disabled. Like nobody can message them. Nobody can send them friend requests. But they still play Roblox because they like some of the games that are on there, which I do monitor it. But you have to watch this shit because I think he got to the point where he was in these chats, having these chats, and all of a sudden, Reddit. Reddit is another one where he really got involved in Reddit and some weird shit over there. It wasn't so much Tyler in that situation. That was more his boyfriend, Lance Twiggs. And he goes by like Lance Twiggs, Lancelot, a few different other names. And I thought I had some chats saved, and I'll check here in a minute, or at least like some screenshots from some chats. Nothing sexual, just random weird shit. But there's another trans dude that was involved, and apparently when there's a message out there was another trans dude that's involved, and he's like a furry, and this whole community in like Utah that he's involved in is like a trans furry community. And they've created almost kind of like an organization, and there was like 20 people in this group chat. Okay. You can't tell me in that group chat they didn't know he was going to go kill Charlie Kirk. So, and it's been confirmed by his neighbor that him and that Lance guy was like in a relationship. And then it come out today. Like today the prosecutor filed charges on him. And they go through a lot of evidence in that. In my opinion, I thought it was really good. There are still some blank spots. Don't get me wrong. Still some blank spots. What up, Kenneth? Kenneth in the chat. What up? So we got Joseph. Joseph says porn is a terrible thing. You'll find yourself looking at things you aren't into because that's what you are into ends up not being enough, and it gets worse and worse. Exactly, bro. Yeah, you got to be careful, bro, with porn. That shit's no good for you. No good. Bring back common sense. I wish, Alex, it would be awesome if we did that. I'm done with the whole furry bullshit. That's a Halloween costume, sweetheart. Yeah, some of them think it's not. It's not. It's weird. They knew. Some people posted something bad was going to happen. Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting ready to get to, Chatter Zone. Apparently, there's been several different accounts on X, and I don't have the screenshots of it. I have seen some of the screenshots, but there's several different accounts. I think there were 7 in total, different accounts that tweeted something days before or a day before Charlie Kirk was going to get shot. Something big's going to happen tomorrow. So, and I'm sure I could find those and pull those up, but this whole situation has been traced back to like Discord, Reddit, Steam, and it's not good. It's like a sick, tranny, gay cult is what I would take it as. And there's more and more stuff coming out too. Like apparently there's some guy I was reading right before I came on. I don't think I saved it or anything, but there's a guy in Utah that teaches the LGBT community how to shoot rifles and how to shoot guns. And so, yeah. Yeah. I swear I saw a book being published about his death the day before. But I can't. Yeah, you did see that. Now, I'd have to really look into that, see if it was accurate. The furry thing is weird as fuck. My opinion, they trying to bury this and use the kid as a patsy. I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet. I think a lot of people said that there was a shooting, that there was a shooter up in top of the building. There was a dude in a white shirt in a crowd, and like I just really don't think any of those are accurate. I just really don't. I've looked at all the videos, and I think what needs to happen to put some of those theories to rest with those other ideas that people have is that they need to release the Turning Point USA 4K footage because they had cameras set up all over the place for that event. Turning Point needs to release that footage to like trusted independent sources. Doesn't need to be to the public because we pretty much know what happens, but at least release it to some like independent journalists that we can trust. Somebody has to see that footage just to put some of these other conspiracy theories to rest. Will they do it? Because you got to admit, everything we've seen so far has been off an iPhone. They haven't really released anything except for the security footage showing him jump off the roof and the pictures of him like walking around on campus or walking to the campus. So it's just been weird, bro. It's weird. What up, Nightworks? They need to release the footage from behind him. Exactly. And I think that's what a lot of people are kind of hung up on still right now, is that you never see the muscle or the muscle. You never see the muzzle flash. Okay, that camera directly behind him might show that. But I don't know, man, because you got to think that tent he was under went like this. So it was like at an angle. So when the dude shot, he had to shoot down into this tent. And the ground itself sloped a little bit too. But if you go back and you watch some of those videos, that tent is slightly slanted. Not a whole lot, but I would say about maybe 3 or 4 inches. Yeah. They never release all the footage because they have to doctor it up. Yeah. I don't know. I want to believe that this time our government didn't fuck us over. But it's hard to believe that, bro. And that's why I kind of just stuck to what's out right now. And trust me, I want to know. I want to know as much as you do what the fuck is going on. Let's see. Let's see what I got. Because I do have, I'm not gonna watch the Cash Patel video. He just talks about the gunman and who was involved, and all this stupid shit. Like I just didn't think it was very good. But I do want to go on YouTube. This is the thing. I'm gonna go on YouTube because I want to pull this video up because I think it's the most accurate information we've gotten so far. Like, we haven't even gotten this from Cash Patel, and he's supposed to be the leader of the FBI. Okay. I just don't think it's been very good. Let's see if I can find it. And I thought, let me just go to my history. I'll find it in my history. I've watched a couple sniper videos. I've watched some crazy shit. Let's put it that way. Today. Hold on. I swear I'm close. Give me a minute. I'm close. There it is. No, that's the court hearing. Killer charge. That's what I want to watch. Oh, no, hold on. No, that's not what I want. I wanted to watch the Fox News where they actually charge him. Where the prosecutor's getting up there talking. So just give me 1 minute. I got it in here. I watched it today. So I know. Here it is. I thought this was the most accurate information we've received so far. I'm not saying it's 100%. I'm not saying that this is exactly what happened. There could be some different stuff come out. But this is what I believe is the most accurate information right now. I feel like they presented better information than the FBI did. All right, so here we go. So this is the prosecutor that's going to prosecute or that filed charges on Tyler Robinson. And it goes into like some details that are pretty important.
The murder of Charlie Kirk is an American tragedy. Charlie Kirk was murdered while engaging in one of our most sacred and cherished American rights, the bedrock of our democratic republic. The free exchange of ideas in a search for truth, understanding, and a more perfect union. It is also an offense against the state and to the peace and enjoyment of the people of Utah and of all those who visit here. But Charlie Kirk's murder also strikes a more personal and intimate chord. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a father to two beautiful young children. He was a son, he was a brother, and a friend. Like all murders, the senseless and needless taking of Charlie Kirk's life has shattered the lives of those he loved and those who loved him. To Charlie's wife, Erica, his two young children, his parents, his family, and his friends, I express my sincere condolences and offer my heart.
Sorry, I was trying to fix my headphones, but I got the screen pulled up full screen now. But anyway, here we go.
Prayers on your behalf. I also want to express my concern for everyone who was at Charlie's Turning Point USA event at the Utah Valley University, and all who have been impacted by this tragedy. As county attorney, I am charged with bringing justice to those who offend our laws. I am charged with bringing justice for those who are harmed. I am charged with bringing justice for Charlie Kirk. I am committed to these aims. I take this responsibility seriously. Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating texts. Count 6, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to stay silent if police questioned him. And count 7, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor, for committing homicide, knowing that children were present and may have seen or heard the murder, and did so based on Charlie Kirk's political expression. Also, following the press conference, I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty.
All right, says there, with all those charges that he presented, he's going to do the death penalty, or he's going to go for the death penalty.
The deader the
So
better.
what up, Nightworks?
What up, boss?
Not much, man. Thought I'd bring you up. You sent me a message on Instagram, and I seen it. So, what do you think about what do you think about this entire situation so far?
Just disgusting. Like the thought of him having an opinion and someone going, "I don't like that," or just kill him is just mind blowing to me. Like,
yeah,
it's just
it's
wrong.
Yeah. Now, would you personally say that what they're saying happened actually happened? Have you seen anything that would say otherwise?
The only weird anomalies that I've seen was from the video I watched from Valhalla VFT of where old mate was jumping off the back of the building, just completely empty-handed. Like, where is the gun that he used? Because they didn't find it in the woods.
Yeah,
you can't make a 44-inch long gun disappear off camera, 4K camera, and then reappear in the woods. That's a suspect to me. Like that was set up by a second party, maybe to be found. But like, who slipped up and wasn't watching the rooftops? Who didn't have active eyes on the rooftops? Like, they did it to Trump. You would have thought, bang, every rooftop from then on in, you've got to check it out. You've got to be right on. Like, you'd be scanning them the whole time. But no, everyone was just like, no one will get up there. There's only ladders from every layer, so you can do it. Like, no, but they won't do it. That's lunacy. Bullshit. That's the first thing they're going to do is shoot from a rooftop. Yeah. I just can't believe no one was watching.
Well, the funny thing is about that video. You said the video where he didn't have a gun jumping off the roof. Well, I seen a video last night. I could have swore when I watched the video of him jumping off the roof, I did not see a gun. And then I watched the video last night, and it showed him he had a gun, and it was wrapped in a black towel when he jumped off that roof.
Well, that black towel, that same video, he jumps off, he picks it up, and the towel just the jacket or whatever it is just folds in his hand. It doesn't have a rifle in it. There's no way.
Yeah, they were saying that that's where the rifle was at, was in that black towel.
Nah, not from what I saw.
That's the only thing I can see that's a little sketchy to me.
But like I said, the angle, even saying they found a 30-06 and then they found the casings. And they found, like, I watched another photo of the actual rifle, and yeah, the scope ring's right up hard against the dials. It's barely on the front part of the weaver rail. Like, it's set up like my 9-year-old was playing Lego. Like, it's not. The rifle wasn't put together by someone who knew what they were doing at all, because you just don't mount optics and stuff like that. It's weird, and it's not. It's a failure point in the system, and anyone who knows what they're doing just doesn't set an optic up that way. They set them up so that your rings are in the center of the tube, nowhere near your center turrets, because you can actually crush the workings inside the scope, and then it won't work properly. So you always put it in the center of the pipes either side. You always have them right on top of the receiver and screwed down really, really well and really fixed down there, because if anything moves, nothing works properly.
Yeah.
It has to be fixed solid and stay that way under recoil, under movement, under dropping it off the building, whatever. It doesn't matter. And whoever set that up had no idea what they were doing. That's why I think it definitely was this clown and not a pro shooter, because, like I said, I mucked around here the other day with a 223, and a full IPSC silhouette target, and did the same thing up from on top of my container, on top of my horse stable for a downward angle, held dead center in the middle of the face, and I hit that dude in the neck. Like 4 times out of 5, I hit below here, and I just, like I said, even with a 30-06, the drop and the data is within 200. It's going to be pretty close to each other. So, like, I put my rifle on top of the steel, just used a little jacket as a front rest. I purposely was breathing heavy, like as if I just run across and lay down on a roof to set up. As I squeezed the trigger, I breathed in, which a lot of people do who don't shoot often. They and they squeeze the trigger because they're waiting for the big boom. And what that does is lifts the back of the gun up, which drops the front down, which angles the shot down. And then you've got 4 inches of wobble zone. So at 200, you can be a good 6 inches out if you try hard enough. If that was a pro, he would have just picked a spot here, and that's where it would have hit. Like, he would have said, this is where I'm aiming, bang, and that's where he would have hit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, now they're coming out and saying it was like within, I think they said today it was like 140 yards. It wasn't even.
Well, at 140 yards versus like it's minimal difference. Like it is definitely a lot easier, and the drop will be less. But like I said, being a inexperienced shooter, if all those tolerances stack up, you've got a lot of wobble zone. Like I said, he was going for full gore effect. He wanted to hit him right in the head and get it all on camera, shutting him up. He wanted to hit him right here in the teeth, and he missed. But unfortunately, a miss is still lethal, even at 200. Like, he had no hope.
Yeah, originally I thought that he wanted to hit him in the head, and we talked about it on IG a little bit. I honestly think he was aiming for the chest, because when he come down, I think like he like jerked a little bit, and that's why it come up.
That can happen too, but I think it was pretty common knowledge, wasn't it, that he always had Kevlar on?
A lot of people says he has a vest on. I don't believe it. I've seen so many videos of people saying he had a vest on. There's been probably 3 or 4 people of Turning Point USA came out and said that he didn't have one on. So
it didn't, like, the shape of like the wind blowing on his shirt and stuff, it didn't look like he had a bulky vest on if he had one on, but you can get some pretty light body armor nowadays. I think that's pretty lightweight, pretty thin, but still can. But even 223, even a little tiny, this is a dummy round that we use in 223. So the bullet part's only this tiny little tip bit here. Even that at 200 yards will punch right through body armor just because of the speed. Speed beats body armor every day. It'll stop a pistol round, a 9mm, break every rib at his chest, but it'll stop the bullet. But a rifle round, body armor, you want to have pretty high-rated body armor to stop a rifle round. It don't work like that. That stuff is like threading a needle through a bit of cotton.
yeah, and that's what a lot of people have said. Like, even if he was wearing a vest at that range and with that rifle, it probably still would have killed him.
This is a 6.5 Creedmoor, so this is another dummy round compared to the little 223 one. They're very different. This is half the size of a 30-06. Like, I've got somewhere here a piece of brass that I got from my brother from when he shot last time. I just can't seem to find it, but it's a 7 Rem mag, and just the empty case is 3 inches long. Like, a 30-06 is slightly smaller than that, but like, there's the felt, and if it was the rifle he was using, it's a deer hunting rifle. It weighs nothing, and the recoil would have been brutal. It would have just slammed him. And a lot of shooters who are a bit inexperienced with a high recoiling caliber like that, you can get themselves a nice little scar around the eye from the scope coming back. But I think he was a bit smarter than that. I think he'd use that thing. If it was, I don't think I could possibly say either way without a doubt that it was a 223 or a 30-06 by the way it hit and all that sort of stuff, because it's sort of inside 200. It would have been, it hit like a train, so it wouldn't have mattered really. Like, both of them are going straight through, and they're making a pretty good amount of damage. Like, If he had great white wolf, if he had a vest on, that's what I think. If they thought he had one on, they would have probably been avoiding trying to aim for anywhere that may have been protected. So that's why I think it was most likely a headshot. People were saying the canopy was too low, but if you have a look, you can even go on Google Earth and go to the site and have a look at it and work it out, the angles. You can measure it, and it works out to, he only had to clear the bottom of that canopy by this much, and like at 140 yards, say to 200 yards, he could see the letters on his shirt clear as day. So, like, yeah, it wasn't any sort of a. I've had people online saying, "Oh, I had to be a pro. It was like 200 yards," and I'm like, "You understand 200 yards for a rifle? My 9-year-old daughter shoots that far with my 223 all the time and can do it with her eyes closed. Basically, it's not very far for a rifle. For a pistol, it's damn near impossible. Like that's 200. That's a long shot with a pistol with a short sight radius. But when you're using a rifle, a scoped rifle, it's easy as."
Yeah. Well, I did want to answer this question from Great White Wolf. He said, "Why does it matter if he had a vest on or not?" Because they're saying, well, some theories I heard they were saying like it ricocheted off his vest and come up and hit him in the head. So that was why people started talking about whether or not he had a vest on too. So
I've seen videos too that look like they've been slowed down, and it does look like it skips off, but also that could look like concussion and ripple of the shirt and impact from impact to do the same thing, I guess.
Yeah, and you're right. HOSGS.
Yeah. See, so he had shot before. He was no pro, but he'd shot before, yeah.
Well, that rifle is his grandfather's rifle. His dad gave it to him. They do say that in this video. That's why. Have you seen this video that I've had pulled up? Hold on. Have you seen this video?
I've seen some excerpts out of it, but not the whole lot.
Yeah, they do talk about where the rifle came from, text messages between him and his trans lover. That's some weird shit. Very strange.
Furries aren't a protected species in this country either, I can tell you right now.
No.
We had one apparently that was at the high school in our small little town, which has only got about 15,000 people. It's a tiny town where I live, and apparently there was one in the high school, and the child had requested a litter box in the bathroom, so they gave her what she wanted. But we don't use litter in this country because we're pretty rough in the bush. We just use dirt, so they put a dirt box in there and said, "Look, that's what you want to do. Go your hardest. Good on you." But we ain't doing better than that.
Yeah.
Crazy
shit in a box.
It's a mental illness, or God, it's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Normal people don't act like that.
Yeah. Joseph, we were just talking about the shot, how far away it was, the angle, all that, what he was aiming for, all that stuff. You haven't missed anything from the video, and I brought Nightworks up, so. Let's watch some of this video, and then I'll stop it. Nightworks, what you got? Is there something going on in the background?
Probably a lot of things at the moment. It's highly windy here. Let me go and close a few doors and try and silence. There's a bit of stuff happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a bunch of background noise.
Yeah, it's blowing about 15 or 20 mile an hour today. That could quite possibly get a lot quieter.
Oh yeah. All right, let's watch some of this video, and we'll stop it and we'll talk about it. Sound good?
Yep.
All right.
I do not take this decision lightly.
Can you hear it?
A decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime. Because we are seeking the death penalty, the defendant will continue to be held without bail in the Utah County Jail. Turning to the 10-page information, these are the allegations. On September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:23 p.m., Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Police found the suspected murder weapon, a bolt-action .30-06 rifle, nearby. Over the next approximately 33 hours, police conducted a manhunt for the shooter until the evening of September 11th, 2025, when Tyler James Robinson surrendered to police at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. DNA consistent with Robinson was found on the rifle's trigger. After shooting Mr. Kirk, Robinson hid the gun, discarded the clothing he wore when he fired the rifle, and told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages and not talk to police. Children were present at the time of the shooting.
So he told his boyfriend, delete text messages. So, in my opinion, the stuff that was released today with his boyfriend should be charged too.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Conspiracy at minimum.
Yeah, I think he knew about it. I think a bunch of people, because there's like a Discord chat and a few other like chat logs from like Steam and a couple other and Reddit, to where there's enough information there that I think they're still investigating and something will eventually happen. But there's got to be some other people involved.
Oh, there'll be a dozen.
Yeah.
There'll be a dozen at least. That they would have been doing recon and all sorts of stuff, because all the sort of stuff and the info that you need to know on how to do this stuff is literally readily available on YouTube. They teach tactics all the time on YouTube.
Yeah.
For anyone to see.
Yeah. And they did have, I will say this, they did have an X account. Well, his gay lover did. His name was like Lance Twigs or something like that. Yeah, he did have a Twitter account, and they wound up canceling it. Or like blocking it to where you couldn't see it. But
I'm not sure about like your country, but in my country, like, yeah, that the start of him putting stuff like that, he would have had a knock on the door when he started doing it.
Yeah. Well, here, I'm telling you, I think sometimes they like let shit happen and almost encourage it to a point. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, because they talked about it. You know, there were tweets on Twitter like 3 or 4 days before it happened.
Yeah, see, our intelligence ASIO, I think they call themselves. Like I said, it doesn't mean much to us over here. We understand that there's people watching us all the time, and there always have been. But they are fairly heavily involved in like cyber crime and stuff over here at the moment. So anything like that in chat rooms, they're on you in a matter of minutes. Like, yeah, there's no such thing as free speech here like you guys have got. Not even close.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I know that podcast host that I watch, Elijah Schaefer, he was over in Australia for a while with his wife's Australian. And he was actually doing his podcast in Australia. And he went and spoke at a few conservative conferences over there. And they kicked him out of the country. Like, he can't go back.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And they'll ban you from coming back.
Yeah.
They'll just put you on a list and say, well, you can't come back here. which is rubbish. Like that should be illegal in itself to stop people from traveling wherever they want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like they didn't ban his wife. His wife can come back.
Well, she's probably a dual citizen or something, and they can't stop anyone with a valid passport from re-entering the country. They can stop you from leaving once you get back here. They can cancel your passport and say, well, no, we've just cancelled your passport, but they can't stop you from re-entering. They have to let you back in.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to come back, so you might as well just go, throw that Australian passport out and just stay in the States, because it's definitely a lot better over there than it is here.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want to. Like, if I was Elijah, I wouldn't go back there. Might try to
Hell no. No, hell no. They put him in jail for nothing. Like, why would you want to go back to a place where they try to put you in jail for nothing? Like, you don't do that. Stay where you're safe. That's what I'd do.
Yeah. All right, so let's go through this. I want to see where he starts reading these text messages out loud, because I thought that was important. It had some good information in it.
The shooting. Turning Point USA, a nonprofit organization founded in 2012 by Charlie Kirk, organized a public outdoor event to be held at noon on September 10th, 2025 at UVU. The event was the first in a series of similar events to be held at college campuses nationwide. Mr. Kirk is a well-known conservative activist, famous for these type of events, where he discusses various political issues and debates with audience members. His events and comments have garnered a significant number of supporters and drawn the ire of many who disagree with his political views. The event at UVU was announced far in advance and garnered significant publicity and interest. Consequently, several hundred people attended. Mr. Kirk was interacting with a crowd before the event officially got underway. Then, at approximately noon, Mr. Kirk seated himself under a portable canopy behind a table and microphone. He began speaking to the crowd and fielding questions from attendees, a format Mr. Kirk commonly used at his events. Mr. Kirk allowed his questioners to approach a microphone positioned directly in front of him. Mr. Kirk's team members were very close to him on his right and left, as well as some behind his canopy and others at various close locations near him. The large crowd surrounded Mr. Kirk on three sides. Temporary metal fencing separated attendees from Mr. Kirk by only a matter of feet. Directly above and behind Mr. Kirk was the UVU Hall of Flags, an indoor walkway spanning several hundred feet with floor-to-ceiling glass windows which overlooked the plaza where Mr. Kirk was seated. People were in the walkway at the time of the shooting. Approximately 15 minutes into the event, Mr. Kirk was answering a question about mass shootings by transgender individuals when a gunshot rang out. The bullet struck Mr. Kirk in the neck. He slumped to the ground almost immediately. The bullet's trajectory passed closely to several other individuals beside Mr. Kirk, including the questioner who was standing directly in front of Mr. Kirk. Children were visible near Mr. Kirk's stage when he was shot. Mr. Kirk was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was declared deceased. The medical examiner's report is still pending. So UVU surveillance. So at the moment of...
So they said he was pronounced dead at the hospital. I mean, what do you think? I don't even think he made it to the car and he was dead.
No, see, there's a fair bit of electrical work that runs down here. along with the carotid artery, and the impact on that, you could see the automatic. So that the tensioning up like this that he did as he dropped, that's his nervous system completely overloading and turning off. Like he was done before it. His heart would have still been beating because it was pumping out whatever was left, but his brain was off. He was dead. Yeah, there's no surviving that shot.
Yeah.
People that survive neck shots catch them across the front where they take out maybe like your main jugular, but they don't hit the vein, or they cop one in the center and it takes out the middle of their spine, and they can't move from the neck down, but somehow they survive that. I don't know how, but on the side here, there's a lot more electrical impulse and nerve endings and things that, he. So I heard a video saying, oh, he still had a pulse. Someone saying he's still got a pulse. He's still got a pulse. Well, yeah, it takes a little while for the rest of those things to shut down. Like the heart's going to continue to pump for as long as it can possibly do it before it stops. But that doesn't mean the brain's still working. He was pretty much dead on impact, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I thought too when it first happened. Like, I'm like, when I first got the text message, or I seen a notification pop up on my phone, and I'm like, okay, Charlie Kirk's been shot. What the fuck? And I pulled it up, and I seen the long distance video first, and I'm like,
yeah.
And as soon as it went pow, and he went like this, I thought, oh fuck, that was bad.
Yeah.
And then I got the close-up shot, and I'm like, there's no fucking way this guy's even alive right now.
Nah.
And they kept like drawing it out, which I understand. They gotta wait till he gets to the hospital, pronounce him dead, all that stuff. You know, it's a little bit of time. You know, you give the family a minute before they announce it to everybody. But I don't think he made it out of that tent alive. I think as soon as it hit him, he was gone.
The amount of blood he was losing at that rapid rate on the return side, like that was all the blood draining from his brain going back down because it comes up the other side, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. And yeah, that was pretty much, it was just pumping out. You could stop it, but then where does the opposite side, like you could stick a thumb in both sides, but now you're deprived, like your brain is filling full of blood and it can't get out. Like that's got to be pretty bad, as well as you stop the bleeding, but all of a sudden it's blowing up like a balloon in there with nowhere to go. So it's terminal either way, I think.
Yeah, and I thought when it first happened, maybe somebody got over there and like, you know, really like clamped down on his neck, kept him from bleeding out or something. But the more I watched the video, I'm like, them guys that were in that tent with him didn't. I'm not sure it would have helped either way, but I'm saying like those guys in that tent didn't know that type of shit. Like that, I don't think they were trained in that type of stuff. You know?
They were saying that he had like the way that they had the tables in front of him set out, that they had hats piled up that he was throwing out to the crowd when he got a chance, but they had them stacked like that to obscure direct line of sight for people close to the fence, for pistol shooters to be able to take a pot shot at him, or someone to go be talking to them. You know, you've seen the other videos, but there was one guy had a backpack hanging over his front and he was leaning on the backpack talking on the microphone. The whole time he was doing that, I was like, "Ooh, no. Inside that backpack could be a pistol, could be an AR pistol. They're on 12-inch barrel, tiny little thing. They just whipped that out. I was like, no, I would have red flagged that straight away. I'm like, yeah, you can come to the mic, but you got to put that backpack on the ground at your feet, please. You can't wear that on your chest because you could possibly have a weapon in there and plates as well. So if someone shot back at you, you're covered with the backpack because they make bulletproof backpacks. Like, it would have been a big red no for me. That thing goes on the ground, bud. You can talk, but you can't have that. And like I said, I can't believe no one was looking up and watching the roof lines, because there's in some of the video you see our mate jogging across. Like, wouldn't you have just gone gun straight away and just everyone hit the deck like the instant? But it didn't look like anyone was actually looking up there. That blows my mind. Like, your security detail at 120 to 110 200 yards, you can see someone running across. It's not like he was a long way away and you could just see a mirage little figure moving at 1,000 yards. No, this dude was right there. You could see something. Like I some of that stuff, that's some of the stuff, again, I don't like conspiracy theories on that, because I actually like to be able to think to myself that I can build the scenario inside my head, see it from a different angle, think about it, like literally think about it and go, no, that doesn't make sense, but that info, that does make sense. Let me build the scenario in my head and think about it for a while. And some of the stuff they're saying, you're like, nah, that's dead wrong. Definitely didn't happen like that. And other stuff, you're like, that's possible. But you've got to be careful you don't slip down into that rabbit hole of it was the Jews, and yeah, that's kind of outside my wheelhouse sort of thing. I think he was just a disgruntled idiot, and I'd say they probably hyped him into it too. Like, you can do this, you're doing it for a great cause. You know, you're the man for the job. You're the hunting man. You've been hunting with granddad. You know what you're doing, bro. It's all you. You can do it for us. And he was like, yeah. No one else likes me. You guys love me. I'll do that for you. And yeah, he was the dude. So that he just got set out with the job. This is your job, mate. I think that other guy that they arrested down, the old guy, decoy.
Yeah,
100% decoy.
There was another one too.
Yeah, I think there's probably multiple that they were like, it was me, really quick, and then go, oh, wait, no, it wasn't. And it was like they've all looked, but they've missed everything else that's moving around. I 100% think that that's plausible, because that makes sense. That would be a smart thing to do if you were trying to get away with shooting somebody and slowing them down to be able to get back there. Like, you get other people to say it was them and take up the resources.
Well, and another thing that was like really kind of weird about it, like I don't think, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think the Jews are involved, okay? But I will say one thing. I think because in America, the Jews are heavy-handed when it comes to like influence and donating to like the conservative party, like the content creators, the politicians, all that stuff, okay? Now, I do think they were getting pissed off at Charlie, because Charlie was starting to speak out against them. But do I feel like they were the ones that did it? No. I haven't seen any like clear evidence of that. But I did find it like really weird how like lackadaisical his security was.
Yeah.
I just
absolutely.
He had like a couple guys, and they had a couple police officers, and that's it. And
a lot of them there was a few looking out, but a lot of them were looking back, and you're like, what are you going to do? Turn around, look out in the crowd. That's what you're there for. Like, look that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand. Like you said, now I do believe that the tent was slightly slanted, so that might have hurt the security guard that was inside the tent with Charlie Kirk, because he's
looking back,
a taller guy, you know. So I don't know. Maybe that might have hurt him a little bit, but I don't know. You had to have seen the guy coming.
Exactly. Like, how tall was he? Around roughly like 5'8", 5'9", sort of, you know, average height guy, little twink sort of dude. You'd see him.
Little twink dude. But no, I was reading something today. Like, he was like 6 foot.
Yeah, righto. So he's shadow line above. Like, you're going to see silhouette. There's no hiding it. He didn't get down an army crawl across. He was fully standing, running from one corner to the front corner, took up a position, and fired a shot, and nobody said a word. Not one person saw that guy running across that rooftop and called out, gun, gun, gun. Yeah. And to think that they only did it to Trump not that long ago, almost exactly the same. Like, it's not like this has not happened before. This happened recently to someone a lot more powerful than him.
Well, and the thing is with Trump, he has Secret Service. Like he has,
Yeah.
his security's really good.
Counter snipers, everything. And they still didn't see that dude to the last minute.
Well, I think there's a lot of bullshit that went on at Butler with Trump. I think the Secret Service was they basically let him take the shot.
Well, they would have had to have. Those guys would have seen that dude. Like, they were trained to see that stuff for 1 hour, half asleep, buried in a foxhole somewhere to see that. Like, yeah, that's. I mean, he got the shot off, and then they anchored him there too, didn't they? He didn't jump off the roof alive.
No, I think they got him right up on the roof.
And I'm pretty sure they put a 300 Win Mag right through him and out the other side. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is you don't know shit about that guy.
No, you haven't heard anything.
They're not going to. He's dead. It's over. I'm telling you,
yeah.
You're gonna have to watch for this Tyler guy. He's on suicide watch right now. I'm telling you, it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't wind up,
gets Epsteined.
Yep, gets Epsteined, and all of a sudden we're stuck with all these questions about, I mean, if he gets Epsteined, I'm doubting everything that I fucking saw.
Hell yeah. If the fucking cameras go out again, I'm like, nah, that doesn't happen. No, not twice. Like, we stupid, but we're not that stupid, people. Come on, we can see this happening.
Yeah. So somebody mentioned something about Candace in the chat. Candace Owens, she's the one that said, because I did want to mention this. We'll get back into this video here in a minute. But it's just a basic video going over all the charges, and it goes through the text messages. If we don't get back to it, no big deal. But Candace Owens talked about Charlie Kirk had a meeting with Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman is like, I don't know what he does, but he's like a billionaire Jew. Okay, and he like funds a lot of like the conservative movements and all this stuff. Well, apparently he had like a meeting. I'll pull up the article and we'll talk about it. Now I don't know how much I believe of it. Okay, I'm not saying I like believe it or something, but we'll talk about it. It was something that I was going to bring up. Because I don't necessarily, I believe some of it, but I don't believe, as far as I'm looking right now, I don't see the Jews like killing them. I don't know. But
probably was on their list of stuff to do though.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me for him to be on the list because he did have. If you go back, Nightworks, you get an opportunity. Go back and look at. There's a few clips out there. Charlie Kirk did a interview with Megyn Kelly, which he talks about powerful, like Jewish influence within the conservative movement. He does another. He does some other kind of interview, and then he has an interview like literally 6 days before, or like 6 days ago, 6 or 7 days ago. He did an interview with Ben Shapiro. That's fucking it's eerie and it's weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's strange. But I was gonna say something else too. Oh, he did platform Tucker Carlson, which Tucker Carlson went on a big monologue about Jewish influence within the conservative party. And then he hosted, Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA hosted a debate with Dave Smith and somebody else. I can't remember the other guy's name. But a lot of the big Jewish donors were pissed off at that too. So there was, if you look at it long enough, you can establish a motive, and that's what I was telling somebody today. Like, the motive is there. I just haven't seen any of the evidence to back it up.
Yeah.
I just think it was a fucking lost tranny tranny furry kid that fucking took the shot. I haven't seen anything that disproves it yet. But
So do you think this will fire up some sort of big movement in your country to like some grassroots movement now to drive through some sort of change to, you know, stop this kind of thing from advancing, or do you think it'll just get absorbed and they'll just hope it doesn't happen again?
I'm hoping it does something. But the way I see conservatives in the United States is we get motivated for a little while. Like when the assassination attempt happened on Trump, everybody was motivated for like a couple months, and now it just dies down. Everybody goes back to normal everyday life, work, family, kids, all that stuff. And the whole time while we're doing that, these lefties are out here plotting, planning, scheming in these social media apps, organizing, training. And your normal everyday American that might be more like right-leaning conservative doesn't really take this shit serious. I've been saying it. Literally, I've been saying this since like 2017, 2018, so about 7 years now, that the Antifa and the LGBT community is going to become a huge issue. And it has. It's become a huge issue. They're organizing. Now they're doing mass shootings. They're planning for more. They're all over X talking about getting Trump, getting Candace Owens, getting Ben Shapiro, and nothing ever really seems to happen to them. Like they can say whatever the fuck they want. But if I got on a social media app and called for like, I'm going to do this to this left-wing influencer, fuck, the FBI would probably be at my door the next day.
Yeah, for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like, so, I mean, most countries think that we have freedom of speech, but it's mostly leaning one way. Like if I say something out of pocket, like, hey, I think we should take up arms and just take it to the streets and start, let's just say, smashing motherfuckers or something. Yeah, that's not good. Which by the way, just to clarify, I wouldn't do that. I would like to, and in a video game, of course.
I think a lot of people feel the same at the moment in America. They've had enough of being kicked over and over and over and not allowed to be able to respond. And they're like, well, you know, no more. We you know, you hit me, I'm gonna hit you right back. And I can't see a problem with it. Like if they're gonna continue to do things to incite more people to do this kind of thing, well, you know, maybe there should be someone wandering the streets, keeping an eye on things to make sure people aren't sneaking up on top of buildings at these events just off their own back, just to make sure the next one stays a little bit more safer. And I think if they find someone trying to climb onto a building with a gun, they probably won't find that person again. That'll be the last time he's seen. Like, I don't think that anyone wants this kind of thing to happen again. So I fully expect there'll be retaliation from people. Absolutely. There shouldn't be. Like, violence is not the answer, but an eye for an eye sometimes too, I guess.
I will say this. I know what I want to do, but let's put it this way. I don't think it's a good idea. I know there's probably millions of conservatives that probably want to do the same thing. You know, but I'm telling you, you can only get pushed so far. Like,
that's exactly right. When you're backed into a corner and they're still coming at you, what are you supposed to do? You can't go backwards anymore. You've taken all the back steps you can. You're pinned in a corner. The only steps you can take are forwards ones. And if they're in front of you, well, you're taking a step towards them. And that's what happens.
I mean, the literal mocking of Charlie Kirk's death infuriates me. I watched several videos yesterday, and I just had to quit watching it, bro, because it was like, more and more, I'm like, dude, these people are just heartless, sick fucks. And
They're sick. They're absolutely sick. To celebrate someone getting killed, you know, you've got kids with no dad, a wife with no husband. And this is not something that they're just going to get over tomorrow. It will affect them for the rest of their lives, their entire, both families too. It's not just one family. It's her family, his family, their aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews. Like I understand that that's what they were trying to do too. They were trying to do that. That's how sick they are. That's what they were intending to do.
Yep. And like this one, I'm going to show you something real quick. This is a short clip. Hold on. Let me go back to the other view. There we go. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna share my X with you. Like, it's just countless videos of like this shitbag. And I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Hi. Call
So,
me
hold on.
hateful. He's dead, y'all. Thank God. One down, couple more to go. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Bye, Charlie Kirk, bitch. Bye. Piss me the fuck off. Bye. He's dead. He's dead.
Unemployment for her.
Dead.
Bye.
Bye. Got shot.
Yeah.
Not my problem.
Well, I think they did find
bye,
her
bye.
and got her fired.
Call me hateful.
Good. That's fuck around and find out. Good. I hope that's exactly what happened. Anyone celebrating anyone's death on either side
Bless.
deserves what they get.
Today, guys.
If people want to fire them for that, well, good.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't hesitate to do that shit when it was Black Lives Matter and George Floyd. They didn't hesitate to get motherfuckers fired. You know what I'm saying?
If someone shot Chant Uger in the throat, I would be just as upset over that as I would be over I am over Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and I don't like Cenk Uygur. I think he's a fucking douchebag, but I would never wish death on the guy. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, I ain't that type of person. I wouldn't be happy if something happened to him. But there are some people on the left that are going, whoa, motherfucker! Like, let's put the brakes to this, because this, you know, like, we could be next type shit.
Exactly. Yeah. They're not worried about anyone else on the right getting hurt. They're worried about someone on the right taking revenge and aiming at them. That's what they're worried about. They don't give a shit about anybody else.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about anybody on the right. They just don't want to be the next person that gets hit.
That's right. There's a clip I seen this morning on Facebook of a bloody rainbow-haired Australian woman jumping up and down and singing and dancing. I was like, I hope people find out who you are, and I hope they get you absolutely sacked so you don't get a job. No one will employ you again. Like, yeah, that's disgusting. It doesn't matter who it is. You can't kill people for opinions. That's not what you do. It doesn't matter what country you're in. You don't do that anywhere.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I don't like it, like, doing that type of stuff. But in my opinion, that is going to be the way that we can at least start to damage this side. Is by, hey, you know what? You say this shit, you're going to get fucking fired. You're going to get ostracized from the community. We're going to shame you. We're going to shun you. You know, I think that is a start in the right direction, in my opinion. I hate that it had to come to this as far as...
but they've had it their way for too long where they could just cancel people at will for whatever they wanted. So, yep, you get what you deserve, and then this is our turn now.
Yeah, and I said it probably back in, it was probably back in early COVID days it was before that. It was like during the Me Too movement. You remember that? Me Too, and they were trying to fucking get all these people canceled for fake allegations. A lot of the allegations turned out to be false and all this shit. But during the Me Too movement, I'm like, dude, you know, we should be strategizing on what we're going to do. because they have turned this against us conservatives. And I said, this is eventually going to backfire on us. Like they've started doing it here. And then COVID comes along and they start using it during COVID, because anytime you would speak out against COVID vaccines, they'd try to get your like a social media account reported, kick you off.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they were, and then,
whatever level it was in America, it was way worse here in Australia.
Yeah.
Way worse. Like there was one lady back in, like this was in the height of COVID when they were everyone was protesting and like that stuff. They pulled a pregnant lady out of the house, out of her own home here in Australia, and put her in jail because she was on Facebook rallying people to go to a march.
Yep.
In the middle of COVID, they dragged a pregnant lady out of her home where she was safe from getting COVID and dragged her into the system, took her out, made sure they bloody rubbed her across every surface they could on the way out to make sure she was trying to make her sick and things like just because she said, hey, I don't want to be locked in my house anymore. I would like to go outside, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, I think everybody should come outside with me and we should all go outside together. And they went, no, you can't do that. We'll just take you and put you in jail. So you can't say that anymore.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I heard it was pretty bad over there in Australia for COVID.
You couldn't go further than 2 kilometers from your house.
That's crazy.
If the supermarket was further than 2 kilometers from your house, you weren't allowed to do that little extra. Even if it was an extra mile down the road, you couldn't go to do it because you were outside the area you were allowed to leave your house. You couldn't walk into any business without a mask on. If you did, there would literally be policemen walking through shopping centres or malls, just patrolling to make sure people were wearing their masks. I never wore one. I refused to. I just said, no, I've eaten enough dirt in my life. I'm tough enough to cop the common cold. I'll be fine. I still haven't got COVID. I never got it. I have tested every time I've got sick. Never come up on any of the tests that I've ever had it. I've had the flu. I've had the common cold. I've had a little bit of bronchitis and things like that, but never COVID. We were tested. I was like, I really want to see if it's possible to just not get it. See if my immune system is stronger than the virus. And yeah, every time I got sick, I made sure to do a test. I even went to the hospital a couple of times and got swabbed, and they were like, nah, you haven't got COVID. And I was like, well, if this is what we were worried about, something that I can't even catch, why am I wearing a mask? I'm unvaccinated. I refuse to. I'm like, nah, I don't get vaccinated for common colds and flu season and stuff like that. I had the basic ones that you needed when you were a kid. I think last time I had a few cuts and scrapes, so they hit you with the tetanus shot every time here in Australia when you go in. If you cut yourself or something like that, they'll ask you when was the last time you had a booster, and if you haven't had one in 5 years, they'll hit you again with the little painful son of a bitch. That's got to be the worst one to get. It hurts so bad. But you couldn't go to the beach and sit outside by yourself on the beach because you might be giving someone else COVID, and then there was no one else on the beach. How can you give COVID to someone who's not there? We had people in their cars with their windows up and a mask on by themselves in their own car. And I was like, what? Hang on a minute. Well, you're trying to avoid giving yourself COVID from yourself because there's no one else in your car, and you're running an air conditioner which run a HEPA filter. You're not going to get COVID from someone coughing on your car either. Like, just crazy stuff. People in Australia, they melted down. They were like, we're going to die. We're going to die. We're all going to die. The hospitals are going to get overrun. Even family members of mine were like, they were blowing up. They were in the corner just shaking. Oh, we're all going to die. And I'm like, snap out of it, guys. Do you not remember we've been brought up in the country, like the country too. Like you can look out my door out here and there's nothing but crops and trees. That's it for as far as you can see. And that's how we grew up just further north. My grandparents have a ranch, if you want to call it that. We call them cattle stations here, and it's 20,000 acres. And that's a relatively small block, really, for cattle blocks in Australia. We run multiple million-acre blocks here. But no one goes out there. It's just us. So there was never going to get COVID out there because no one goes out there. We grew up getting dirty and getting covered in all sorts of stuff, like working cattle and horses and riding motorbikes. And we went to school. I went to school. I did 10 years of school before I had enough of the rubbish they were trying to teach and decided that I was just going to go and get employed and go and get a job. So I started out building fences, rural fences out on the land, and did that for about 15 years before I sort of moved down south here and end up with the business we've got now. But I just figured, like, my family members, you don't need to worry about getting COVID. And if you do, it's not going to kill you. We're young, we're fit. Even our grandparents are still, for the age they were still fit as fiddles. Like my grandfather at 85-year-old was still getting on a horse and going and rounding up cattle with us and still screaming orders at the top of his lungs at us. Like they were tough. They were born of the bush and the land, and they'd never spent a day in the city. They were fit, healthy. They ate healthy meals. They didn't eat takeaways, and they never got it either. And they went to town. Like my grandmother went to town every week to do the shopping. They'd have to go in. They went in weekly and had a cold room and stuff that they kept all their groceries in. So they just buy a big heap of bulk stuff and just go for as long as they could before they needed to go back to town. And that's just the way they'd lived for the last 40 years. And they went to town with everyone else, and they're saying, oh, don't go to the shopping centre because there's been cases reported to COVID's there, and they just go shopping, come home, and they never got sick. It was always the people that had something else making them not well for it to overrun them and make them sick. And that's what I was telling everybody in my family. Like, if we're not already sick, we're not already suffering from something, you won't really be that badly affected by it. And I don't know anyone who actually died from COVID that I know personally. I know people have died from it, but just no one I know actually. I know a few people got pretty quick from it, but no one actually passed away that I know personally from COVID.
Yeah, I mean, I supposedly had it like 2 or 3 times, but I never got it. I feel like I had maybe a stronger than usual cold. And that's pretty much how I felt. But I feel like COVID set this country back tremendously. Like it damn near it pretty much did bankrupt us even further than what we are. It has made us morbidly obese as a country. Like everybody gained a bunch of weight, and it seems like people got super lazy after COVID too.
Kids got stupider because they couldn't go to school. They were homeschooled by people who were already mostly illiterate. Lucky my daughter was, she would have been like prep or something like that, so it wasn't a big deal. But like, I'm not high. Like I said, I finished at grade 10. I'm not highly educated at all. All my skills are physical. Like I can drive any machinery. I can break horses in. I can build fences and sheds and houses and all the things I can do with my hands. I need a calculator to do even some of the, like my teacher, my mother pinpointed it back to 1 year in my education where I had a teacher who was really bad at math. And that's where I didn't pick it up from then, and I never picked it up after. I just couldn't. I missed some step in the learning process that I just never gained back. And I feel like when these kids didn't go to school, they were learning from home, but like that's like working from home. Nobody works when they're at home. Like you do a bit of work and then you go and do something else, and then you do a bit of work and you go and like, yeah, you don't work from home. Like I don't know any of my friends that work from home that do actually all their work 8 hours of the day when they're at home and don't do anything else.
Look, sir, I work my ass off at home. Okay. No, it is.
But they had other jobs they could go to, but the government wouldn't let us go to them. We had to try and do them from home, which was it was a mess. Like our economy it went down the drain so fast it wasn't funny.
Yeah, I've heard. I have a few Australian friends. I have one I haven't talked to for a while. I need to reach out to her, see how she's doing. But she said that her and her husband, they can't afford a house. Like, housing's so fucking ridiculous. They can't even come close to buying one.
So I have a few Facebook pages on my Facebook from real estates in the States, because I really want to move to America. I cannot convince my wife for the life of me, but I really, really, really want to migrate to America, because I think Australia doesn't represent my values anymore and what I believe in, whereas America still has those values at heart, where this country's lost them. They're gone. I don't think we'll ever get them back. We used to have a really fun country. Like, we had a really fun country where we could go where we wanted. We could have guns whenever we wanted. And then came 1996 and we had the Port Arthur massacre, which was what triggered the massive sweeping gun changes in our country, where there was the buyback or confiscation, because you had to hand them in. There was no, if you wanted to, you could. You had to, and if you didn't, they just come take them. So all of that happened, and I reckon soon as they realised they could control our population so easily, because everybody was just like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. That dude definitely did it. And I've watched, there's a guy on YouTube, it's called the Wasp Files, and it goes through the whole deal from a different perspective, not from the mainstream perspective where Martin Bryant was the shooter. It was 100%. This was all premeditated. He takes it from what he calls an alternative narrative. He says, just for, and he's done a lot of research in it. He spoke to people who were actually in there when the shooting occurred. One was hit through the neck and they survived. That was what I was saying. It does happen that he was hit through the neck with an AR-15 at 10 yards and survived. Like, it punched right through, took out the front of his esophagus, and he survived. They reconstructed everything as best they could. And he tells the story that the guy they said that did the shooting was not the one that he saw shoot him in the neck. And if the dude who said that was not the guy that shot me, I'm going to believe that over anything else I hear, regardless of what evidence they can come up with or manufacture. Because if the dude who was 10 feet away said that's not the man that shot me, then that's not the man that shot everybody.
Yeah.
Did he have a part in the shooting? Yes, absolutely, 100% he had a part in it. But he had an IQ of a 15 or 14-year-old boy. Like, he was not... They reckon he either had Asperger's or something like that. And they had, from the evidence that I've seen, they talked him into taking part in a training exercise. And he was taking part with his friends because he had relationships with the police officers of the district too. He'd been out with them shooting tin cans and things like that. All of this sounds like, oh, they've been grooming this dude to set him up but he definitely was there. But the guy who was shot in the neck, who was in the cafe, said that was not the man who shot me. That he had the same long flowing blonde hair, because that was his giveaway. Like, his hair was below his shoulders, thick, long surfer blonde hair that was like bleached white from the sun. That was what his main feature, like, you could have seen him from any angle and seen that long hair and went, it was that guy. But they reckon that there was another guy that they had long blonde hair, was wearing almost the same thing. He was the guy who actually pulled the trigger in the cafe, not the guy they say it was. Where the mainstream media pretty much, this guy didn't get shot. They actually have him in Risdon Prison in New South Wales. He has been in solitary confinement for the last 30 years. The documents surrounding his no trial, nothing like that, because he confessed. So when you confess, there's no trial. there's no need. You've said it was you. So they're like, right, oh, you said it's you, into jail. It is 2096 is when the paperwork can be released to the public. The government has hidden the paperwork away and said it cannot be seen by anybody until everybody who is involved is since long dead and past.
Damn.
So no one will ever know.
And did they use that case and what happened there to take your guys' guns? Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yep. So that was because he used an AR-15. He used a semi-automatic shotgun, and he used an SKS, which is another semi-automatic 7.62 millimeter semi-automatic rifle. So first they took all of those. We can't have semi-automatic rifles without a specific license and a reason. You must have for every gun that I have to have a reason to have it. So the government has to be happy with the reason that I give them, that I want or need that firearm, because it's not a right, it's a privilege for us. So it's not like you can just say, no, you can't stop me from having a gun. That's not a thing. They can absolutely turn up tomorrow if they wanted to and say, hey, you can't have those anymore, and they would just take them off me. So there's no First Amendment, there's no Second Amendment. Not that I know what all the American amendments are either. I just know what the main first two are, because, like you said, the two protects one. So without the second, there's no first. So, but we don't have any of that here. We can't defend ourselves in our own home. We have no what it would be termed castle law in Australia, which is standing ground laws. There's none of that. You can't. If you protect yourself with anything, it doesn't have to be a firearm. It can be a baseball bat. It can be a knife. It can be a stick. It can be a chair. If you hurt that person that's broken into your house to attack you, you also go to jail. If you kill them, it is not self-defense. It's murder. So, yeah, to get off on anything in self-defense in this country is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. Yeah, I haven't heard of, like, the guy the other day down in Western Sydney got his door kicked in and was stabbed 5 or 6 times trying to stop his father from getting hurt, and he ended up breaking the guy's arm, messing him up pretty badly, but also ended up getting stabbed. He got charged with assault as well. Even though he got stabbed as well, he still got charged with assault, so he'll have to fight those charges in court. You'd want a pretty lenient judge to be able to get away with it. Most likely he will either serve some time or very unlikely he'll get like a community service or anything like that. He will probably spend time behind bars just for defending his father and getting stabbed for it.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah. What are you supposed to do if somebody breaks into your house? You're like, hey, come on in, man. I got like fucking cookies and fucking coffee.
Gather up your children, your wife, funnel them out the back door as fast as possible, and let Almo do whatever they want to do. That's all we can do. We're not allowed to do any more. Like where I live, the likelihood of that happening in one of the bigger main cities nowadays is very high. Like Western Sydney, Melbourne, even Brisbane is getting really bad. So where I am in Queensland, Brisbane's our major city, is our capital city for this territory, our state. It's even getting really bad there. Where we are, not so much. You're not going to get people kick your door in here and that sort of thing. It just doesn't happen that much out in the rural areas, or if it does, you don't hear about it as much. But like, we're pretty safe where we are, and our town it's a pretty neutral sort of place. There's not a lot of violence and that. So it is quite a tame sort of area to live. But if you're in the cities, like, you lock every door and every window every night, like, I don't lock my car or nothing here, and the house at night's not locked, and sometimes I forget to go into town and don't lock the front door and come back and the dog's still laying on the veranda and nothing bad's happened. But if you did that in say, any of the major cities, your stuff's gone, your house is empty, your car. They love to steal cars. They love to break into your house and steal your car and then just go and do burnouts and set them on fire just for something to do. They couldn't even be bothered to cut them into pieces and grind the numbers off and resell them. They're too lazy to even do that. They just want to get them and wreck them.
Yeah. Well,
and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'll ask you this question. Now, who do you think is the main culprit in these bigger cities stealing these cars and committing all these crimes? Who would you say is the main culprits?
So without having the federal police knocking on my door, which is, like I said, it's a real thing here, but they're immigrants. They are immigrants. They are predominantly Arabic and Sudanese immigrants that come here and they just form enclaves and turn gangish and they just run rampant. A lot of it is because we've imported people who come from a country that's never seen peace. All they know is bad and war. So when they get here, they're like, everyone, we got to keep doing what we were doing over there because that's what we've always done, and we don't know anything else. That when they come here, they're like, well, hang on a minute, these are peaceful people.
Yeah, we're
pretty rough people. I think we can get the upper hand on these guys because they're pretty laid back Aussies. They're not going to do anything about it. And then they go and commit a crime and they get bail straight away and get tossed back out on the street. And then you're in court right after them. And then you're the one who does the time for defending your home, and they just get bail and get let out. So they reoffend, they go back through the system, they get bail, they get let out. Our system is so badly broken that it's just repeat offenders over and over and over and over. And some of these guys have got 10 or 15 bail hearings that they've been just let go on. Like the judges, they're like, oh, well, you come from this country. That's all you know is it's the judges that go, yeah, that's all you know is violence. So, we feel bad for you. So we're not going to make you do any time for it. We're just you can go back to your family and think about what you've done. And, this is not the way we do things here. We're a lot more polite society. And they go, yeah, righto. Okay, I got you. Thank you very much. I'll just go over here with the other gang members that I'm now part of, and we're just going to plan our next attack. You wait here. I'll be back soon, and you can just give me bail and let me go again, and then I'll go and do it again, and eventually I'll kill somebody, and then I might do 2 years, and then you'll let me back out again on parole for 12 months, and I'll reoffend on parole, and then I'll go back to jail and do 5 years, and it's just a cycle. And then they're just, it's the judges that are letting them back out on bail. Like if they come over here on a visa like that and they commit a crime like that, but you put them on a boat, sail them back, like just send them home. They don't deserve to be here. If they can't be nice, if you can't play nice, you get out of the sandbox. It's that simple. Just go home, send them home, send them back to where they came from if they can't be nice, because we're not like that. We're nice people, Australians. We're real easygoing. We're hard workers. We're easygoing. We're that easygoing in Australia that it's to our own detriment, where we just go, well, as long as you're over there doing your thing and you're not bothering us and you're not hurting us and leaving us do what we want, you're all good with us. Like in our mind, you're all good. And what happens is it just erodes and erodes and erodes and erodes until it's to the point now where normal everyday people are scared to go to bed at night because someone's going to kick their door in and steal their car or steal their purse or or even worse, kill them. And nothing's being done about it. Like, you've got politicians in this country that are like, there's maybe 5 that I could think of out of the hundreds that we have that go to our capital city in Canberra, into our parliament, and they all talk and they all spend all their money and they all run their mouths, and they're the ones, there's probably 5 that care. 5 that are like, we need castle law and we need it now. We need to be able to defend ourselves with whatever we can get to hand as quick as we can, because things have gotten out of hand. We need to be able to do that. We used to, I think, pretty sure there was a time where you could defend yourself, but it just disappeared for some reason. Like, I'm sure that we had been broken into as a child, and the policeman had said, and I quite distinctly remember this as a little kid, the policeman, this was pre-96, when we still had, so we used to shoot pistols when I was really young. And so I think I was about 12. I lose track of the years. So I think it was about 12 when it happened and we had to handle our guns in, because it was about 12 months after the actual massacre where the laws were set in stone and everybody was handing them in. But so even when I was a junior, when I was a little junior, I used to shoot pistols at the local club, and we used to have pistols at home. We always had them. My mother had multiple pistols in different calibers for different styles of pistol competitions. And one time we got broken into, and they were trying to get into the pistol safe, but they couldn't get into it because it was a heavy plate steel box that was bolted to one of the walls in the house, and you couldn't remove it with a truck. And they didn't get into it, and the policeman said, and I'm distinctly remembering saying, if you ever come across this again and you can get that pistol out, he said, you fire one into them and then you fire one into the ceiling, and you tell them that I fired a warning shot and they didn't stop, so I shot them. Now, I remember the policeman giving my mother that information when I was a little kid, and you cannot do that nowadays. That is, if you had, like, to have a pistol of any kind, if you're not a primary producer, so if you're not on the land, and even then it's really hard to have one, you have to have a Category D license, and you have to go to only use it on an approved range, and you must shoot on an approved range a minimum of 5 to 6 times a year to keep the license. And if you don't, they just revoke it and you have to hand them in. So you can't do anything with a firearm to defend yourself at all. You can't even pull an empty gun out and brandish that in self-defense, because that will get you put in jail for sure. Like, you can't do it. It's just not something you're allowed to do anymore.
So what would be your, first off, what do you think of Americans that want stricter gun laws, that want the Second Amendment to be more restrictive, for us to hand in our AR-15s? Like,
nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't let them do it. They take one, they take another, they take them all. It starts with the bad guns and ends up with all guns. Don't let that happen in your country, because the instant, like you said, the instant you don't have those guns to protect yourselves in your own home, plus against if the government goes rogue, that's what they're used for, then you have no protection. Like, you only the criminals have kept the guns. All the good people in Australia handed their guns in. The criminals didn't hand them in.
Yeah,
the criminals, they're criminals. They don't follow the law anyway. So what would make you think that making a law for people that don't follow the law is going to work? It's not going to work. It's only going to work on the people that follow the law.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you can't it starts with banning the bad guns. So the semi-automatics, they went after the semi-automatics here first. Like, I understand that you guys in some states lost fully automatic weapons back before the Gulf War, didn't you? Wasn't there a complete automatic ban in a lot of states?
Yeah, you can. I think you have to have like a special license to own a fully automatic gun. Like I know, I
Or
went to
you've got to be like a gun manufacturer too. Like some of these YouTube guys are manufacturers, so they're allowed to have fully automatics. But yeah, they come for them, then they come for the semi-automatics, then they come for the shotguns, then they come for the bolt actions, then they come for the single shots, then they come for the slingshots, then they come for the rocks, then they come for the knives, the sticks, the cars, the boats. Like, where does it end? What? If you take away all the guns and all the knives and all the pointy things, they'll just run over you with a car. Yeah. So where does it stop? Where's the limit of stuff you can take away from a society, like to make everybody safe? There's got to be some sort of way to be able to. Like I struggle to say gun law because I hate all gun laws. I do not believe in them at all. I do not believe if I do not even believe in the system that we have here ever saved anybody, because we never had really mass shootings beforehand and we never had any after. Like it just it was a one-time thing, and they went, well, that's going to happen all the time now. Take them all. And we're like, well, hang on a minute. It didn't happen beforehand. It only happened this one time, and there's something sus about this. And it's never happened again since. And you can't say that the gun laws work because it's never happened again since, because it never really happened beforehand either.
Well, I want to know, like, how often does it happen now? Do you ever have any, like, in the bigger cities, any gun deaths or anything?
Oh, yeah. Like, hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The bad guys still have them.
Yeah,
it's just us good people that don't have them. But we don't have mass shootings like on that scale anymore. And in Australia, a mass shooting, I believe, is 2 or more people. So what they did was they brought it right down. So it was basically, if it wasn't a 1-on-1, it was a 2, like you shot 2 people, that's technically a mass shooting. But like there's literally, it's in the news all the time that, someone was shot in Melbourne or Sydney in the middle of where all the bad gang areas are. But it's never like a really good person who just decided and snapped and went out and shot everybody. It was always gangsters with guns and bad people who didn't follow the law anyway, shooting each other. Like, it's not really. Yeah. Like I said, it's a hard thing for me because I can see it from people's like, well, if you take away the guns, you'll take away the violence and it'll all stop. You watch. You take away America's firearms and all the violence will stop. Well, I can see where people would think that would be a good thing and a good plan, but it won't stop because the bad people that shoot each other anyway aren't going to give them up. They're not going to hand them in. And so you're going to end up with only 2 types of people that have firearms. You'll have the government and bad people that were never going to follow the laws anyway. So and in a country like America where there's, what are you guys at? Over 300 million there?
Yeah, I think it's like 365 million or something last time I checked. Yeah.
We're like 28 million. So you guys are like more than 10 times our population with the laws that you've had where everybody has the guns already. If you put you don't have the ability to destroy that many guns at once. Like there are so many guns in America that even if you took them all, where the hell are you going to put all these things? There would be football field size warehouses stacked to the absolute rafters with guns. Like like I said, like I said to you the other day, I wanted to come on just to tell you guys that we are not the end result. We are on our way there. Britain is the end result. They're what happens when you completely lose control of your country. We're not far behind them. I can tell you that right now. And people saying, oh, no, America will never go down that same path.
Yeah.
When the demographic of people that grow out of the mindset of the 2A community, if you don't keep that strong, that fades off, and then the people who don't like guns end up being the majority, and that's how you lose it. Like that's absolutely how you lose it.
That's what they're currently doing right now. is they're teaching our citizens that guns are bad. You should be afraid of them. And that's why I try to tell as many people as possible, get you guns, get you another one, get you another one, get you another, and go out, learn how to shoot them.
Learn how to use them.
I'm not like super well knowledge. Like I don't have a bunch of knowledge about guns. Okay, I have guns that I'm comfortable with and that I can fucking shoot. I know how to load it. I know how to shoot it. I know how to aim it, and I know how to clean it.
And know how to be safe with it.
And be safe with it. Yeah, that's what I know. Like if you tried to talk to me about guns or something, like I might be able to talk to you for a second, but it's like eventually you lose me, and it's just.
Whereas my particular flavor of autism puts me well into like going down to the bare basics of making my own ammunition from scratch and doing all the load development. And like every one of my guns, I don't shoot packet ammunition. I build my own ammunition from scratch. I pull them apart, I clean them, I put them together. I know what every spring and every screw and every nut does on every single one of my firearms. I shoot almost every day. I stay at home here with my 22, my little rimfire bolt action, just for practice. Because we do live out in the country, I've got no neighbours to worry about the noise, and my neighbours are truck drivers and farm workers, and if they heard a gunshot, it's probably one of them more than me shooting clay pigeons out of the back of the shed or something like that. I shoot every day. I try to stay, like, I'm a competition shooter. I shoot PRS, a precision rifle. It's an American sport that's made it over here, and we just love it. I try to stay handy with a firearm, even though I can't use it to defend myself. If we do get the ability one day, I don't want to be starting from scratch. Like I want to know how to handle a firearm. I want my kid. I want her to know how to be safe, how to load it, how to empty it, how to make sure you don't hurt yourself with it. To make sure you never squeeze the trigger and looking down the side of something you don't want to destroy, because guns destroy things. So whatever it's pointing at, you pull the trigger, it's going to destroy it. So don't ever destroy anything you don't want to. My wife, she has shot before, but she's not into guns. She's not anti-gun, but she's not pro-gun. She's like, you can have as many guns as you want. I don't care, but you won't catch me down there shooting with you. I'll stay up here and work the horses and things like that. But you know, my family owns land. They've always had guns out there. That there's certain other things that you don't understand until you've lost your firearms. The things that get worse, like not even in a governmental sense or a day-to-day living sense, but the feral animals have exploded here. So our agriculture's suffering because feral pigs, hogs, are just tearing places apart. And because not everyone's got a gun on their hip, you can't shoot them. So things like the farmers are struggling to stay on top of the pest numbers. Things like that. Like, there's knock-on effects that happen, not just for the city people, but countrywide, when you lose your ability to have a firearm at hand when you need it. I'm hoping one day we get the ability to stand your ground laws at home, at least. Even though I don't need it, I like to think that we could have it and be responsible for our own safety in our own house, especially since police aren't there to stop crimes when you need them. They're a phone call away, yes, but I'm 20 minutes out of town at the closest. If they were flying out here as fast as they could, they come out here to investigate what happens after the fact. They're not going to turn up when I need them. So, you know, I would like the ability, like, even though I might never need it, if one day a meth head decides that, that little house there all by itself close to the road is going to be an easy target, I'd like to think that I'm allowed to get up out of my bed, grab my house gun, walk out and, ask that guy, hey, I'm armed. I want you to leave. Please stop. If you don't, I'm going to make sure that you don't harm anybody. I'm not a killer. I don't want to just blast the door down and kill somebody, but I would like the ability to be able to, if they don't stop and they don't leave us alone, that I have the ability to stop them. Like I can, I can't shoot through the door, but I'll wait if they break that door down or that door comes open. I'm going to take care of business. And I would like to have that ability, because when you lose that, you're very naked. You have to think a lot more all the time of how things can go wrong, to make sure to do things to stop them from going wrong. And I feel like if I had a firearm at hand, I could probably rest a little easier thinking that if someone was trying to get in to hurt my family, that I have the ability to stop them, and I'm not going to be the one that goes to jail for it, because I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't gone out seeking trouble. The trouble come to my house, and I'm responsible for my family safety. As the man of the house, I'm responsible for my family safety. I'm not hiding behind my wife and kids. I'm standing out in front of them. I'm making sure that they're protected. And if you're going to take my ability away from me to do that, I don't know. I have to find other alternatives to make sure that that can't happen. I have to lock my doors and make sure my car keys and that are hidden away. They're not hanging on the rack inside the door. They're for people to want to, they're hidden away in drawers, and just make sure that I haven't left anything out that someone could jump over my fence and steal, because that happens so often in every part of Australia. Like you used to be able to leave your bloody shoes out on the veranda, but now you wake up in the morning and someone's stolen your shoes. Like it's getting worse. It's not getting better, and I'm worried it's going to spread out to these rural areas that we already have meth problem out here. It's shocking all over Australia. That is the worst thing that's ever come to this country, and it has absolutely destroyed our country in ways that I would never even imagined. It's bad here, and we have the strictest quarantine laws in the world here in Australia, because we're a little island, and somehow you can't get a banana across from an airport in here, but you can get a shipping container full of meth through from China. If they could stop meth tomorrow, it would solve a lot of problems in this country, I reckon. A lot of crime would go down, because these little tweakers they're running the streets at 15, 16-year-old just off their faces because there's nothing better to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Once they run out of shit to rob in the cities, that's where they come. And they come out to the rural areas. And I can say here in Ohio, we're we have the stand your ground law. We have constitutional carry, which means I can carry anywhere. I can't say anywhere. There's stores and shit you can't go into. But for the most,
so do you just leave it in the glove box when you go in there?
Yes.
Just chuck it in the glove box for someone to steal if they want to get it.
Yeah.
It's better on your waist than in the glove box, is what I always say.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to be careful with it and stuff. But, a buddy, a neighbor down the street from me stopped by my house the other day. I was out putting something in my trash cans. He's like, hey, man, just to let you know, he's like, there's two streets over, there's been 4 or 5 houses that's been robbed. He's like, I wanted to give you a heads up in case they make it over this way. And the dude said, it'd be a bad idea if they came to my house. And I said, yeah. I said, they come to my house. I said, they're going to get a big case of fuck around and find out. Let's put it that way.
Well, when I was on the Hickabilly podcast the other night, because they asked me to come on to explain a little bit about ballistics to them, because there was a bit of chat going on that people just didn't understand the dynamics of it. So then I just put a correction in the comments, and Hickabilly's like, do you do you want to come on and explain this? And I said, yeah, I could probably do that. And he said, so if someone broke into your house and you defended yourself, he said, so if someone broke into my house, he said, I set the scenario and the only thing I had on me was a pocket knife, and old mate come around and I, in the neck, boom, and I rang the cops. They would go, holy fuck, you John Wick that dude, well done, bump. If that happened in my country, I'm going to jail for manslaughter at minimum, but possibly murder one. Like that, you can't do that here. Like that's, like, it's just not a thing. And I was like, and he's like, are you joking? You can't. I said, no, you cannot defend yourself in your own home with lethal force. No way. Not a chance. Like it's murder. Like in our country, that's, if you kill somebody doing that, and not in my opinion, it's not. In my opinion, I didn't come looking for the trouble. The trouble came to my house. So it'd be a different story if I was breaking into someone else's house. That's a different story. Like you don't break into someone else's stuff. You leave other people's shit alone. But I think if I had the ability to protect myself in my own home, in my family, and my belongings, as long as it's inside my house yard, that is a good start. But it's not where I think, you know, I think it should be just constitutional carry here in Australia. You should be able to carry a firearm on you if you feel the need and if you want to do it. I think as humans, we should be responsible enough that we should be allowed to do it, because we're responsible enough with cars. Like, we're driving cars so close to someone coming the other way at full speed to be like, all you got to do is just, you know, if you wanted to do something, all you had to do is cross that center line into oncoming traffic and you can take out a whole bus full of people. Like, there's no difference in it to me. Like, it's not the weapon, it's the person, and it always has been. People will kill with whatever they can get their hands on. If they want to kill somebody, it doesn't matter. They can do it with their bare hands. They don't need a tool.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Over here in this country, I don't believe it's not the fucking guns that are killing people. It's feeding these people all this mental health medication, warping their little fragile fucking minds with porn, and then, you know, teaching them they're the opposite sex, pumping them up with all these hormones, and then saying, "Oh, here's a gun." You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's just you're radical.
But this is the fine line, isn't it? This is the fine line between legislating something so the crazy people on the meds can't have the guns and creating gun laws, which always lead to more gun laws. So it's a super fine line of like, and I can see it from people in Australia's perspective that, oh, well, all the guns are gone, so, you know, I feel safer. Are you safer? No. You might feel safer because you think all the guns are gone, but you're not actually any safer because the guns are still in the criminals' hands. So it all comes back to the same thing. There's no other way to look at it. It always circles back to the criminals don't follow laws. That's what makes them criminals.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing we need to do is we need to reopen mental institutions. And we need to start taking these, because we closed mental institutions. Like, we just got these fucking psycho people just roaming the country. We need to open up these mental institutions, start locking people up, start doing something. You know, I think we need to ban, in the United States, we need to ban the hormone treatments and shit like that, given the opposite sex other hormones like estrogen and fucking
if you're going to license anything, license that. If you're going to license anything, license that. Make it that hard, extremely hard to get. Not the firearms. Make the medication that's making the people lose their shit. Make that way harder to get.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like the trans, the LGBT movement, and even just the fucking far left in general. I don't know if you've seen this guy. Well, at some point, look up this guy named Destiny. He's like,
that blue-haired idiot. Yeah,
he's a fucking idiot. Well, he came out and said some shit yesterday, and like, this dude is. You can tell he's obviously on drugs. His mouth is like. The whole time
he's unhinged.
Yeah, he's unhinged. He's unapologetic for what happened to Charlie Kirk. He's unapologetic. I mean, he did the same shit when they tried to assassinate Trump. I mean,
Yeah,
he's just he's a liberal fucking shitbag.
But these are the kind of people that the shit they say imprints on these other people who already are starting to like get pushed that way, and then they listen to idiots like that who push them further and further to being their real self. Like, I don't think it thinking that you're not the gender you were born in, it's not natural to think that you're a female when you're a male, and for them to be giving them drugs to help them with the delusion that comes with like thinking that you're something you're not, it's got to be something that needs to be looked into further. It's an epidemic almost of people. Like, it started here with, like, I think the rate, they said the rate for like autism and that sort of thing used to be like 1 in 10,000 kids, and now it's 1 in 30.
Yeah.
And they're saying that, oh, well, we just didn't know anything about it back then. I was like, I don't know about that, because if you ask the oldest person you can think of, the oldest person that you know, and say, hey, was this a problem back in your day? Every time they're going to say, nah, this is nothing like that. This never happened back in my day. People didn't like that. Yes, there were gays and there were flamboyant people, but my grandmother used to say, no, not like this. Like, you know, it wasn't every kid had to have some sort of mental issue to fit in with the other kids, because if you were the only kid that didn't have a mental issue, then you were the weird one out.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the other way around, that like all the normal kids, and then you've got the one kid. And I understand ADHD and things like that. Like, I have trouble sitting still, and but even when I was a kid, they're like, oh, red cordial used to send you off your head. It's like, no, you try to confine a little boy to a seat for 7 hours a day at school, and little boys don't sit in seats for 7 hours. They have to climb trees. They have to burn up the energy and the testosterone their body's making all of a sudden. You know, they have to be learning how to use their body, their physical, like learning how to lift heavy things and have let them express themselves the way they're supposed to, not keep them pinned in a classroom under fluorescent lights for 7-8 hours a day, forcing them to sit still and just listen and over and over and over, of even before they were teaching this bullshit that they're teaching with the gender studies and stuff in school. Even before that, there was always a problem with all the little boys, like all the kids in my class. You look at the girls, they're all sitting there listening intently, and all the boys are flicking each other with stuff, and they're moving in their seats, and you're trying to pin these poor children that just want to move and do something at that stage of their life into sitting in a chair, and they wonder why they're obese and things like that, because computer screens are here now. My daughter, she has computer class. Like, when I was in school, they didn't even have computers when I was in primary school. I think it was like grade 7 or something was the first time we had floppy disks come in, and it was dial up on the phone line and stuff like that at school. And we had one computer in the entire school. Like, it wasn't like we had rooms and rooms and rooms of them. We had one, and it was all writing prompts in to get everything to start. Like, there was no just click and start and firing up your phone and things like that. So, like, I understand where the world started to slide downhill is when mobile phones were invented, and I'm just as addicted to the damn thing as everybody else too. I can't put the frigging thing down. I wish I could. I wish our whole country got hit with an EMP and the internet was just a thing of the past. I would literally be twitching for a few days, but then after that I'd go back to the way I used to be, would just find something else to do, get some actual work done when I'm supposed to be frigging doing it, or, go and pick up a book. That's a good start. Go and pick up a book. Read something. I don't read stuff anymore. Like, I'm now at nighttime picking up different books and just reading a few pages and trying to put the phone down a bit. Obviously I'm not going to be able to work myself up to Einstein's level. I'm not like I said, I'm a physical learner and a visual learner, not a book and computer screen learner. Everything I've learned doing it manually on my own with my hands, and I stuffed it up more times than I got it to work until I could get a bit of help from someone and learn a bit more and educate myself physically like that. But if I had to sit down and study to be a doctor and I've got to go through textbook, I could never do it. My brain's just not wired that way to do it. If I was to, like, I always said to my wife, if I wanted to learn how to be a heart surgeon, I would probably kill so many people before I got that first heart swapped in and out and they survived. But that would be the way I'd have to learn it. So that's why I'm not a heart surgeon. Like, that's why I do things where it's not involved with people's lives, because I would have to learn that from scratch, and it's probably not best for someone like me. It's for the smarter people out there. But I want my daughter to be smarter than me. I want her to enjoy school. I want it like where I didn't. I want her to enjoy it. I want her to go every day. I want her to learn. I want her to get an education, whether you go to university or not. I mean, that's going to be up to her. A degree is always something you can fall back on. It's a backup plan, I guess. It's not one that I ever had. It's one my wife has, and she still uses her degree today and has since the day she got it. But I wish I was better at school. If I could do anything again and go back, I wish I was a better student. I wish I was more book gifted, more school smart orientated. I mean, I know the world needs more manual laborers than it does thinkers, but I just wish I wish my schooling had. I wish I had loved it more, and I wish I had been a better student. But I mean, like, you can't redo something over when you haven't done it in 30 years. But like, I just wish that I had, and I want her to be smarter than me. So I want her. She goes to a religious school. A private religious school, not for the religion, and I don't care if she goes to the religious side of the school or not. It's more about the structure and the religious basis to it that I think is better than the public school system. I kind of hope she picks up another trade than what a mother has, only because the industry that a mother in it's a very draining industry. She comes home just heartbroken some days and doesn't want to go back. Like, being a veterinarian is very tough for a person mentally. You get a lot of people that will make you feel bad because they don't want to do the best they can for their animal and that sort of thing. And that really does. Like, she's been doing it now. We've had our vet clinic for about 15 years, and she was 10 years in the job before that and has never done anything else. And she's mentally strong, extremely mentally strong to be able to hold out for that long. But I don't want my daughter to follow that same track, even though it looks like she is. She loves animals. She wants to go to work with mum every time she can get in there. She does the weekends. She goes in and helps mum do everything in the clinic, and then comes back here, and I've got her horse saddled for her, and we'll work horses after she gets back and things like that. She's got a very physical. She has some homework from school. We try to roll that on the first day, get it all done out of the way. So that's completely done. You don't have to sit down in front of a book for the rest of the week. We can get stuck into the other things that need to be learnt, like how to be responsible for your animals, how they come first, and how to be like responsible for feeding the dogs and just things like that, like teaching her how, like we had the other day, we had the trough was leaking. I was like, oh mate, we got to go and fix this trough. I'm going to teach you how to pull the float off this trough, and the horses we don't want to make sure the horses don't run out of water. So I'm going to teach you how to fix this. The next time, maybe you can go and do it, that sort of thing. But I think the most important thing was that getting her to that school with the structure that the religious schools have, it's better than the public system, that's for sure. Like, it's definitely, they're not teaching the same stuff. They're not, there's no furries at the school that she goes to, that's for sure. No one's shitting in a dirt box in the corner, that's for sure. That stuff doesn't fly, and they have the ability they are pretty savage with it too. They have the ability to weed out the kids that they don't think are a good match with their way of teaching. So, you know, it's not like they'll just go, "You're a bad kid, get out." But if that kid like doesn't follow the rules, well, you know, there are other avenues and other schools that you could probably go to. Like, you have to keep your hair a certain length. The girls have to too. They have to have the uniform perfect every day. My 9-year-old will stand in front of the mirror and sort out her uniform to make sure it's perfect when she goes to school. So they take pride in the way they look. They take pride in the way that their other schoolmates look too. If someone's shirt's not tucked in, they will just tap on the shoulder and go, "Hey, your shirt's not tucked in." Like, come on. People are looking at us. We got to set an example. Even at her age, she's only 9, but even at her age, she's like, you know, you got to set a good example for the little kids underneath you, sort of thing. And that all comes from that structure of that kind of school too, where you don't get that in the public schools.
Right. Yeah, my daughter started going to like a private Christian school, and she really likes it. And they're not as strict with the uniforms. I guess at one time they used to be, but they've kind of backed off of it a little bit. I mean, it seems like a good school. She seems to like it. It's a smaller school, but now with the attack on white Christians in the United States, I worry about these soft target Christian schools. You know, you just never know. Like that, the security, and like they don't have, like, honestly, they don't have security that I know of. I mean, I know they do have like if you walk in through the front lobby, but how many school mass shootings they've walked in the front lobby? Usually they find like an alternate entrance.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Or they're students there and they're already got the stuff in their backpack, and they just decide and snap while they're in the middle of a class. That's the one thing I guess we don't have to worry about in Australia, I reckon, is I really hate the gun debate, because the no guns, to the extent that they are prevalent in America, like, I understand people go, well, that's what makes us better than you, safer than you, is we don't have all these guns out. And yes, that is partially true. And I hate it because it is partially true that, you know, you can walk down the road, walk down the street and know that that person coming at you, if they just have a really bad day and snap, they're not going to take their EDC out and dump it on a crowd of people. But in saying that, people wouldn't do that here anyway, because Australia, our gun culture is very different. And I guess this is only coming from my perspective too, because I've never been to America. I don't know. I only know what I get to see here, and it's all shootout at the OK Corral, and it's still the Wild West and cowboys and Indians and all this sort of stuff. And, you know, Americans they're crazy gun nuts. They'll just look at each other bad in the street, and it'll be, do you want to shoot each other? Yeah, let's shoot each other. And it's like, if that happened, there'd be so many more dead Americans than there is, and that just doesn't happen. It's something that we in Australia have been forced to believe and told to believe, because that's what makes us better than Americans, because we're not these uncivilized, gun-toting. And I guess that all comes from the British side of our thing. And I very much was never of the opinion that Americans just get around swinging, throwing bullets at people all day, every day, because that's just not the way normal people act. So yeah, when you would see it on the news, like, and we get it, we only ever get this stuff on the news. We only ever get okay, there was a school shooting here this week and, 16 kids were killed. But we get to see all of those, all the bad stuff. That's it. We never get to see how the good guy with his EDC stopped anyone from killing anybody by, as they drew their gun and went to shoot the unsuspecting person, old mate behind him pulled his EDC out, dumped the mag in him, and that was it. Just the one bad guy died and the good guy saved the day. We don't get to see those here. They don't show you those, because if they showed you those, then you would have a reason to believe that a gun is not as bad as they want you to think it is. So we don't get to see that. The only time we get to see those is if you're on Facebook and you have the people like the Colion Noir who point out all the good guys protecting people with guns. He shows those videos and says, look, it's not all about the bad people. Look at the good people. Look what good can be done with a firearm. We don't get to see that here. They suppress that so heavy that it just doesn't exist in our minds. That never happens. That there's never a good guy saves the day with a gun in the Australian media. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So we just get forced into thinking that you're so much more safer, that the government has taken away all the guns and made you safe. The government will look after you. This gets repeated over and over and over. The government will look after you. They're the saving grace. They will always make it better. I can't think of a single time where a government has ever made anything better from something they've done, where they've ever improved anything. I've never seen it. I've just never seen where they're like, we're going to legislate this, and it completely solved the problem and it all went away. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, our government solves everything over here.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, our government they're always thinking about the people. That's all they've got in mind as to how they can help the people. Yeah, bullshit. Anyone with half a brain would think that they know that that's not what politicians do. Politicians are there to make themselves rich. And I think in Australia, like, it should be 3 years and you can no longer be a politician. You have to get back in the trenches with the rest of us dirtbags and survive. You're not allowed to just stay fat off the public purse. You do your 3 years. Yeah, do wheeling deals, whatever deals you can get done there to make yourself rich afterwards and get yourself a good job afterwards. Okay, we'll scrutinise that, but let it go. If it's deemed that was done outside of like the legalities, that you were, insider trading or something like that, no, you can't do that. But after the 3 years, that's it. No more public purse. You have to get a job with the rest of us. And I think that would help to sort some of the problem. It might not fix everything, but it's a damn good start to fixing some stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to get together soon and just talk general politics, because I'm gonna get off here and take my old ass to bed. It's getting late over here.
Yeah, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Oh shit! It's 1 o'clock in the morning here. So.
Yeah, I knew it'd be pretty late for you guys.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. I gotta get up and work tomorrow, but I definitely want to talk. I like this talking back and forth about Australian politics, U.S. politics, because really, I mean, I don't try to do that like, well, we're much better than you because we didn't give up our guns. It's like, no, I look across, I look at you, I see the same thing as I see in me. We're a Western white man that, in my opinion, needs to stick together.
Absolutely.
And we're going through some of the same struggles. There's an attack on in my opinion, on our culture.
Well, apparently in Australia, white people don't have culture. We're just white people. We don't have any culture. Even though our culture built the planet pretty much. But yeah, white people have no culture at all. Like, we're just white people. We just eat unseasoned food and playing chicken.
Yeah, we can't dance. We have no rhythm. Yeah.
Oh fuck, I can't dance. No,
I can't dance. That's true.
No, hell no. I can try when I'm very drunk, but it does not look good. It is very much the old Elaine from Seinfeld dance. Like that's that's not me.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, man. I'll be in contact with you. We're friends on Instagram. We'll have to get together here soon.
Absolutely. Send me a message. I'm always down to chat anyway.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thanks for coming up.
Peace, America.
All right. So we didn't get to all the Charlie Kirk stuff tonight, but I actually kind of liked where I really liked where this conversation went. We got to talk a little bit about Charlie Kirk, got to get to know Nightworks a little bit better. I like that. Maybe that's why I jumped on tonight. I needed a little break from the Charlie Kirk stuff. It was good to laugh, talk about other shit. I don't know. I thought it was good. I do want to say, research the Charlie Kirk case. Go out there, watch the shit that they've been putting out. I probably will go live again. What's tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow, and then that's it for the weekend. Well, I don't know that for sure. Sunday night, I am going to, the War Tour concert with Adam Calhoun, Simple Man, Hard Target, and Dusty Lee. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. It's going to be a fucking great time. I can't wait to go. Just kind of get out of this political shit for a little while. Go have some fun, enjoy some music, meet the guys, all that shit. So I look forward to that. But I will go live again, maybe a couple more times before I leave. But I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out, talking politics and bullshitting in the comments section. And hopefully you have a good rest of your evening. I'm going to play a song on the way out, so give me 1 second. I usually do this. I want to keep this a thing, even though I'm talking about politics. I still want to play a song on the way out. So I should play a Hickorbilly track because I know you guys all love that shit. Adam said this is it. Yeah, I seen that, Frank. Yeah, Adam said this is it. I'm glad for him. I'll say this. I am glad for Adam. Brother, you've given us a lot. Like politically too. Not just music. You've given us a lot. Okay. I wouldn't walk away forever. But your family deserves to have a little bit of time. Take a year off. Disconnect from fucking social media. Take a year off. Relax. I wouldn't even say relax. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But I don't blame him. Let's put it that way. He's been going and going and going and going for fucking what? 15 years now? Something like that? Yeah, dude, you deserve a break. The Charlie Kirk shooting was hard on Adam. You could see it. I seen it. I reached out to HT. I reached out to Simple Man and just let him know, like, hey, you can tell it bothered him. It bothered him. It bothered a lot of this country. Yeah. Yeah, it bothered a lot of this country. This country, I think it was like some kind of fucking trauma, dude. Like, it fucked me up, dude. Like, and I'm telling you, it still fucked me up because like I said, I've been watching the videos over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. And I've been watching all the different conspiracy theories and shit like that. You watch that shit enough times, it fucks you up a little bit. So I know what Adam's going through. Hopefully he can snap out of it. Take a little break from social media. I'm sure he'll be back. Okay. I'm sure he'll be back to some degree. Maybe not as like full-time type shit. But Adam's an awesome guy, man, and sometimes you just need a fucking break, bro. I went through it. I took like a fucking, before I started doing country rap, I took like a 3-month break where I didn't make any content whatsoever. I took a break, and it was like, I think it was like right after the election. Right after the election, I took a break, and I didn't come back until I started making country rap content. So, and I thought I might have been done altogether with content, like doing anything with YouTube. But it's reignited a flame in me. I'm going to start building up my political stuff. I'm also going to drop some, reactions and shit too. But I felt like this story was so big, I didn't want to be divided. I didn't want to be divided. I wanted to be able to focus strictly on political shit. What's this? And the doxing shit is whack, but that's another live. Yeah, the doxing shit is whack. Great White Wolf. we'll talk about that here soon. I might address some stuff in the country rap shit that I've been, or the country rap side. I might talk about that here in the next couple days. Get one country rap live stream right before I fucking go to see Adam and them in concert. There's been a lot of shit going on, a lot of moving pieces, okay? A lot of moving pieces. A lot of shit. I've been jumping in and out of people's comment sections, but I've been basically MIA. I don't know. I don't want to be involved in all that shit. I don't care about it. To be totally, I don't give a flying fuck about that crackhead Ryan. I really don't. I've lost interest. I don't like the guy. I think he's a piece of shit. I think somebody should punch him right in his fucking face when they see him. Like, just no hesitation, bro. For some of the shit that he like did with the whole Charlie Kirk situation and Adam and tried to make it all about them. Fuck that guy, dude. He's a piece of shit. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. Dedicated subscribers. I always love it. I love just bullshitting with you guys, even if it's a hard subject, even if it is Charlie Kirk and it's kind of a sad situation. I'm hoping we get to talk about his fucking death penalty here soon. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. All right. I'm all out of passion. All right. Have a blessed evening. God bless you guys. God bless your family. And God bless the United States of America. Now let's listen to a fucking track on the way out, because that's what I want to do. Here we go. Good versus evil. Forgiano Blow. JJ Lawhorn. Let's fucking go.
Whoa, we need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town.
Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. But if you do, bitch, we'll hang you in a fucking field. We don't judge by skin, we judge by soul. So God can judge your sin, but bitch, you gotta go. Austin Metcalf lost his life at a track meet. The news won't say it, so I say it on a trap beat. And while they running from accountability, Lake and Riley was murdered while she was running in the streets. Who would've thought the girl who left the danger in Ukraine would get her life taken riding on a train by a nigga when she's repping Black Lives Matter? But you triggered by this song, tell me which is sadder.
A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. Oh, there's too much crime in the streets these days. Too much evil going down. If they get 'em up out of the bricks for a while, the judge turns them loose on the town. How many mothers gotta cry? How many children gotta die before we put an end to all this mess? We ought to do it like they did it way back in the day, 'cause granddaddy's way it works best. Who's gonna right them wrongs, my friend? Vengeance is the Lord's, but brother, justice ain't a sin. We need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope.